the operative term here, the operative word, how they did it. I don't know that and Daquan Plowden, look, I got to give kudos real quick to Kevin Dana, who's been a Daquan Plowden lifer, truther for the longest time. He comes on our show yesterday. Go check that out on YouTube. He gives a great lay of the land on the new additions to the Kings, Killian Hayes and Patrick Baldwin Jr., who did not play last night. But he comes on the show, talks about Daquan Plowden again, and Daquan Plowden has, for all intents and purposes, something very close to a career night, if not a career night. So I have to give a shout out to our guy Kev. And that part of it, Whitey, nobody had an issue with, of course. When he's doing his thing, Nique Clifford doing his thing, what he was the first 4x5, it sounds like an In-N-Out burger. I don't think they go past 4 patties anymore, Whitey, but a 4x5 from Nique Clifford, the first one since Boogie Cousins. That means he had at least 5 stat lines when it comes to points, rebounds, assists, and he had 6 steals. The brother had 6 steals. So that type of stuff we love.
Great.
But then you see some of the other stuff. And Russell Westbrook playing however long he played, and you got DeMar DeRozan.
33 minutes.
33 minutes. DeMar DeRozan, that's 2 games in a row here where he has played, over 30 minutes?
He's at 29 last night.
Okay, 29 minutes. And he only took, 9 shots?
7 of 9, 5 of 6 line.
He's been incredibly efficient, so we can't knock DeMar on that. But, it's almost as if in the Spurs game, they let DeMar do his thing, and in this game, they let Russell Westbrook do his thing. And it feels like we want to give them a pass because they needed to get a win, and I agree with that. I think that they needed that for that locker room. How you move forward, it's the same thing we talk about, Whitey, when everyone says, Tyrese for Sabonis, that was a terrible trade. No, everything the Kings did after the trade was terrible. So they want to win this game. They deserve that win. That's cool. Now, everything you do after this, that's what matters. And the last thing I'll say, Whitey, when it comes to DeMar and Russell Westbrook, as we mentioned yesterday on the shorter show, this is the last week. I don't know the exact date, but this is the last week where you can be bought out. So there was a little birdie in my mind that thought, was this Doug and the organization saying, hey, we'll give you one more showcase to see if your agents or anybody has any suitors for a buyout conversation, because after that, I can't see after this week these guys getting 30-plus minutes.
Alan, I wholeheartedly agree with you in terms of the spirit of what you're saying, which is, look, you've got to play your young guys here going forward. If that costs you wins, that's okay. I agree with that. In this particular instance, I think you're overstating it, because there's nobody that I see last night, any younger players where I look at it and go, man, that guy should have played. Sure, Maxime Raynaud could have played more minutes, but he played 28 minutes. Everybody, young players, veterans, everybody played a lot of minutes last night. They got the win. So as far as last night, every win makes me nervous right now. But I don't look at that and go, oh, my goodness, why did they have Russ and DeMar in there? Because all the young guys played, and just about everybody contributed except for your guy, Killian Hayes. He's terrible.
Well, he only played 11 minutes. I'm not going to say Killian Hayes needs 30 minutes after just signing, and he had one practice with them. But we're going to talk about Devin Carter here in about 20 minutes, and we'll have that conversation because that brother,
I think he's done.
He's cooked.
Yeah, I think so.
Apparently he's cooked.
Yeah, no, you could argue that. I get that. You could say he should be playing, but it sounds to me and looks to me, sounds like you agree that they've made up their mind on him.
It's less to me about, DeMar, I have a harder time complaining about because you took 9 shots, right? It's less about the minutes and more about what they're doing. I don't care how Russ shoots at this point in time. I really don't. I don't care that he was 3 of 7 from 3, which isn't terrible, and 8 of 17 from the field. I care about Russ taking 17 shots. And here's the other thing. Maybe we should change this conversation, Whitey. Maybe it should be less about the minutes and more about how much these guys are shooting and how it looks. Because just real quick, on Keegan Murray specifically, there is the reason I'm upset, and I know he just didn't shoot well, 2 of 10, 1 of 4. That doesn't mean, we talked about this. That doesn't mean, hey, Russ, Keegan is a brick right now. You go shoot more. No, that means, hey, Russ, keep feeding Keegan until he figures it out. I don't give a you-know-what about this game besides the young guys doing their thing, because any game where you're facing majority G Leaguers and fringe guys, and Keegan Murray, your quote-unquote future, scores 6 points, I know that's just as much on Keegan as on the coaching staff and on the vets, That's bad.
Yeah, that is bad, but I don't put that on anybody but Keegan. He's 2 for 10. He's 1 for 4 on his threes. I don't see a lot of reason to be upset with Russell Westbrook last night. And I was not a fan of him coming here. I still question his fit. But last night they got a win that it's clearly the organization wanted to get.
Mm-hmm.
We could quibble about, well, did they really need it? It's crystal clear. Everybody was on board. We need a win. By the way, congratulations, because according to Chris Verlaud, you have just made history. Allen is the first person in the history of sports media who has ever said, how did Killian Hayes only play 11 minutes?
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Send that one off.
No, I did
to
not
the
say
Basketball Hall
that.
of Fame.
I did not say that. I said he could have played more.
Yeah.
I said I'm not going to say Killian Hayes deserves 30 minutes, but if you're asking me who would I rather play 33 minutes, Russell Westbrook or Killian Hayes, you can put this in the Hall of Fame. I want Killian Hayes. I don't want to see Russell Westbrook. I don't. Please come on the show, Russ. But I do not want to. If you are going to be here, you could come on the show.
See, I understand. Again, I understand the anti-Westbrook sentiment. But to look at last night and to present him as a problem last night, I don't see it. They
It's
needed
just
a win. He helped them
conversation.
get a win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now put him on the shelf. That's
Malik
fine.
Monk, by the way, I think, and I think Matt George may have posted something about this. I'm a Malik guy, and I've said, he's a pretty good point guard. We saw last night why he is not a full-time point guard.
Well, can we...
He had 5 turnovers last night, and some of that was Harry High School stuff.
No, I will say, yes, some, but can we give some kudos to Scottie Pippen Jr.? I mean, he is a dog defensively.
Sure.
He's the one who got into it with Russ when Russ spilled the drink and he sat down because he was a dog.
Mm-hmm.
So it's two things can be true. Malik Monk, they've already decided, again, I don't know what they're going to do with Malik Monk moving forward. He's not getting, a lot of point guard time. He's getting more because they traded Dennis Schroeder, but that didn't really make me cringe the way I did say we might not see Malik again because it was so bad, Whitey. It actually made the little corner of the highlight reel with the 4-letter network saying, hey, the Kings finally got a win.
Sure.
But in that highlight reel were the lowlights of Malik Monk. They had that. When you're just stuck in a black hole and SportsCenter just keeps playing because you're actually doing something else. I'm on my computer. So I know this for a fact. They sat there and they said, wow, this was pretty bad. It was pretty bad from Malik Monk. They counted the turnovers, Whitey.
I honestly feel like you, and I think Matt's in this category. He's not here to defend himself. I apologize. But if you're going to look at last night's win for the Kings in this miserable season, and you're going to come in today and say, Russell Westbrook, that's a problem, I think you're looking for something to complain about.
I'm not saying Russ is a problem, though. I'm not saying Russ is a problem.
Night.
I'm saying 17 shots is a problem. But again, this is about what they do moving forward.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
Which we don't know yet. You needed to get the win. You got the win. If Russ takes 17 shots next game, then I feel like somebody ain't on the same page. Whether that's the coaching staff, whether that's Russ.
Don't you think, Alan, to that point, don't you think that's part of the Russ experience? If you have him there and you're going to play him, you're kind of implying
and
it's
I'm
implied
not,
consent.
Yeah, and I'm
like
not,
Russ is going to be Russ. That's why he's there.
And I'm not being disrespectful, but as much as other teams might not be interested in Russell Westbrook as far as the contenders, if you put Russ in against Gigi Jackson, Jalen Wells, Maxence Prosper, Cam Spencer, Scottie Pippen Jr., Taylor Hendricks, Javon Small, who actually played pretty well, he had 21 points, Walter Clayton Jr., who looks a mess, Jemai Meshack, and Ryan Rupert. Russ
Ryan
is
Rupert.
Oh, my goodness. Sorry, Rupert. Maybe, just maybe, Russ is going to ball out and do his thing. But again, you have to figure out what you want out of this. So this does nothing for me.
But the young players played.
Yeah, they did.
And they played pretty well for the most part.
I can't argue it, to be fair. I cannot argue it because it's all about what happens next.
I agree.
It's all about what happens next.
And you got to be really careful about winning games. I'll give you that. Any win right now makes me nervous. But last night, Memphis, I don't think they had anybody over 6'9".
No, they didn't even. And people are saying, Allen, Maxime Raynaud had a double-double. Yeah, there was no other center. They did not put a center on the floor.
They didn't have any.
So I don't know what to do with that. And to Russ, when you talk about the Russ experience, isn't that part of it? I don't think so. I think if you're agreeing to have Russ on this squad and you said, hey, we kind of know what this is. I would imagine, because think about it. How come DeMar DeRozan hasn't been shooting the way he normally shoots, the same volume? So does DeMar DeRozan just have more wherewithal than Russ?
Yes, definitely.
So you don't think they had a conversation with either of them?
Had a conversation? Well, I'm sure they've had lots of conversations. I don't know if any of the conversations are, look, we need you guys to start taking fewer shots. I mean, I think they're already being borderline disrespectful, the positions they're in as it is.
Well, they could leave.
I think DeMar is I think he's a much more self-aware player.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair because...
And Russ is like, he's very stubborn. He's like, if you got me out there, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and most of the time, we'd have to see the layout of when those shots happen. But that's why I think in those games where it's more obvious that they're trying to make sure that they secure an L, you won't see Russ in the game in the fourth quarter. So maybe that's just what it is. Hey, we're not going to ask Russ to be different when he's in, even though I do think I've seen him play differently at times, Whitey. But we're not going to ask him to play differently while he's in. We're just going to pull the plug when we need to pull the plug.
Keegan was a problem for me last night. It's basketball, but, we're really expecting him or hoping at least that he's going to find a higher level than we've seen from him consistently, and he's going to stay there. And so 2 for 10 last night. It happens, but at this point, anytime that happens with him, especially against, as you say, a G League team, it's a little discouraging.
It was not good.
Yeah.
It was not good. And I know he's only a couple games back, but my fear with Keegan is that we are very close to the yips category, if not already there. And there are 8,000 versions of yips. You can not be able to throw the ball back to the catcher like in Major League. Back in my day, Whitey, I had the yips a little bit trying to catch the baseball. It was
I've never heard of it.
Yes. You get in your mind, and the ball popped out. I'll never forget. It was a fall scrimmage at UPenn. Beautiful campus, UPenn. I'm in left field, and Whitey, I don't know. I went to squeeze it. The bad boy popped out. Then all of a sudden, it's almost like, in the Bible with Adam and Eve, you realize, whoa, how do I normally catch this? And it turns into a whole thing, and you have to work through it. And I'm curious how far we are away from that with Keegan. That rookie season, he's not thinking about anything, comes straight from Iowa, bing, bam, boom, most three-pointers made. Then that next season, hey, the ball's not going in. Is my elbow in enough? Am I doing this right? Well, they want me to rebound more. And now it's almost like, you think about it like this, Whitey. Have you ever been eating before?
Yes,
you ever think to yourself, man, I never realized how I hold a fork, right?
No, I know what you mean.
And then when you're holding the fork, am I holding this how I normally hold it?
I had a discussion once with Trent Dilfer, and we were talking about the yips, and I gave him my definition. He said, that is exactly what it is.
What is
it's
it?
When whatever your athletic endeavor is, whether, as you say, putting, in your case, catching, I hadn't heard that one before, but throwing, whatever it is.
It was a high pop fly, Whitey.
It's like you are fearing failing at it so much because it's really devastating emotionally that when it comes to the moment when you just have to let it happen, you hurry through it to get it over with.
Yeah.
And when you hurry through it, you're not doing it right. You do it wrong again, and it just amplifies the whole. It's like a feedback loop.
Yeah.
It just gets louder and oh, I can't do it.
Right.
And so that's a lot of what it is. I don't see that from Keegan. I agree with you. He's not shooting the ball well, but I don't think we're anywhere near yips territory yet.
I mean, we're going on 2-3 years. We're going on 2-3
but
years.
Yips is, it's like, wow, he can't do it. He just isn't doing it consistently well. Even last night, he was 1 for 4 on threes. That's not good. But Yips, it's like 0 for 7 with like
he's
3
close.
air balls.
No, I don't think it has to be that. I think it's any break, and I love your example. I love your description. I think it's any break in your muscle memory. Something that you've been doing forever. I was catching a ball since I was 6 years old, never thought about it, right? Then you have
Kinda like Simone Biles went through it too.
Yes,
right?
you have that break in muscle memory, and I wonder if Keegan has had that break in muscle memory on top of just an injury-riddled season where he probably would have been able to work through it on this terrible team. He would have been taking 25 shots a game, we would have hoped. So maybe this was the year to work through it, and unfortunately, injuries took it away from him.
Yeah. Another disappointing thing, I know we discussed this already in the crossover, was that we didn't see PBJ last night.
Yeah, I guess Matt said it was just a two-way unavailable type deal. I saw him in some sweats, and I was very confused because if I'm not mistaken, that got announced before Killian Hayes. So
Yes.
I thought, if anything,
it was.
the question mark would have been Killian Hayes. So maybe there's more to it because it's a two-way and it's not the situation of just a 10-day, hey, Killian, just get out there for 10 days and we'll see what happens. But it was kind of weird to me. Not weird, but I just disappointing that we didn't get to see him.
From Cash Money, yes, let's hold Keegan accountable. I'm tired of him getting a pass in Sacramento. People talk about him possibly being an all-star. Are you kidding me? He doesn't have the confidence nor the game. People are upset.
Yeah.
After the Kings have won a game. It's just an upside-down world.
Well, you talk about that checklist, and I don't think they checked a lot off of the checklist, and even even on the broadcast. And we love obviously Mark Jones and Katie and Kyle Draper. We love the whole crew. But when you're talking about the offensive repertoire of Keegan, I do think it's maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. He's shown flashes. Part of that is because of injuries, but he hasn't shown us a ton to where we say, hey, yeah, he's unlocked this new move like in a video game. We should be seeing more. We've seen him do a couple things a couple times, and again, because of injury, but I don't feel confident saying that Keegan has added. I think yesterday Katie said he's added to his game. I don't feel confident saying he's added. Yeah, we've seen him take more mid-ranges, but I don't know that that's a part of his game. He's actively working on it on a bad team.
Aaron Mick says, I feel like when he shoots, he knows it's not going to go in. No confidence in himself. It's also possible that he's not as good of a shooter as we all thought he was. It's possible.
Well, again, maybe he is suffering from that rookie season. And he might not. We talk about the one-hit wonders, Whitey. He might have some good hits, but I don't know that he'll ever be that again. I don't know.
Right. So, what does last night's loss do to the Kings? They still got plenty of wiggle room as far as making sure they're the team with the worst record. I do think it's really, really important they end up with the worst record.
Even though, and to be clear, because a lot of people, I saw somebody chime in and say, it makes me worried that the worst record hasn't gotten the first pick. You don't necessarily care about that, Whitey. You just want to confirm that you will have at worst a fifth.
Yeah,
right?
I'm assuming that they won't get it. If they do get it, that's great. But I'm assuming because the odds tell you there's a very, very, very high percentage chance that they won't get the first pick, even with the worst record, but they can pick no worse than fifth, as we all know. So that's a good spot to be in for this team because they need help.
I know that you, later in the show, will discuss, hey, should team needs matter when it comes to picks, specifically with the Kings. But Whitey, you look at this roster, and I've said this before, it doesn't have to be via the draft, but man, oh man, they got to get some shooting, right? I mean, Keegan is supposed to be our shooter.
Yeah, I've been saying that for years.
He's been struggling. I'm not saying your pick has to be a shooter and not to take AJ Debinsa because he's not the best three-point shooter, but by hook or by crook, next season, they need at least two shooters in there. I don't care if it's, off the dribble or go get you a Luke Kennard or somebody. They just have zero shooting. And to be fair, I think that's also some pressure on Keegan. Hey, you are the one shooter we have, so you need to make this. There's no protection for him like other teams have when they just have a pure shooter on the roster.
Alan, now you're putting thoughts in people's heads. Raider Ted. Is this a Knoblauchian level issue? No, it's not. Chuck Knobloch couldn't throw the ball. Keegan can shoot the ball. It just doesn't go in.
Anybody can shoot.
But when people really get wrapped up with the yips, like there was a catcher named Mackie Sasser, he couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher.
It's Yip-esque.
And he would do this, forever.
It's Yip-esque.
To me, Yips is whoa, that is a place you don't want to go.
I don't think
you're either there or you're not.
This is our disagreement. I don't think the Yips has to be ugly. I think it just has to not look right.
To qualify it as the Yips, it's got to be serious.
I know he hasn't played 22 games. He's at 27.9% from three. Small sample size.
Yips would be 13%.
No.
It would.
No.
And it would be air balls and Rick Ankiel, stuff like that.
We just have two different descriptions of Yippee.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay.
To me, Yips is a very, very serious thing that is debilitating.
Yesterday,
when someone has it, there's no question they have it.
Yesterday, Kevin Dana said the average is about 37% from three.
Yeah, how about that?
Okay, Keegan Murray, his first season, we already know, 41%. 2023, 2024, 35.8%. Last season, 34.3%. And this season, we can just call a wash. So he's at 36.5%.
Yeah, so he's had one good year shooting the
He's had one good year.
Yeah.
And that's the year where he was not on anybody's scouting reports. There was no pressure. There was none of that. Now this brother got paid, okay? It's his team now. This stuff matters. It matters, and it can bring on the yips.
What did somebody say last week? He got married. He's soft.
Yeah, he got married. With that Dwayne, you can't get married. Number one. You know what causes the yips? Getting married. That's what it is, according to some of our listeners.
Well, people are digging what you're saying. I'm not there with you, but
It's
Gavin
yippy.
says it's not as bad as Herder after the 3-point contest, but it is getting close.
Herder got them yips too. Thank you, Gavin. It doesn't have to look ugly, Whitey. It's just bricks. Building a house.
So does Killian Hayes have
No,
the
he's
yips
just
too?
not a great shooter. or okay, there's two options. Keegan's got the yips, or to your point, he's not as good of a shooter as the first season showed it to be.
Yeah, his second year, 35% was, and I think he was up and down. It's like, all right, that's not terrible. Then last year, I remember he started off terribly, and then he rallied in the second half. But then this year again, and I know there have been a lot of injuries. It's a big question with him. Hopefully we'll get some answers between now and the end of the year. What if you had a chance to trade him this offseason to the Spurs for, let's see, what would that be? Pick number, let me just check real quick here.
Why is it always the Spurs?
Because they have the 13th pick, and we think that they would have interest in him. Would you do that?
I would. And I love Keegan, had his dad on the show, love the family.
Yeah,
I would.
After you just said that, he ain't coming back.
Well, no, and that's why, shout out Kenyon Murray, that's why we have a conversation, because we can be open. He knows I'll be open. But I got to do that deal.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
I have to do that deal. If it's here for me right now, especially with the new landscape, with Y2K, with the Y2K draft changes coming, I got to do that deal.
Did you see the NBA 2K feature again last night on the telecast?
Yes. Did you turn it
Sometimes
off?
it was there. No, because I'd get really mad and then it would go away.
Yeah, it was very weird. Was that on purpose? It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
I can see, trying to meet them halfway. All right, especially when you got a team like the Grizzlies had on the floor last night. Thank you, because I'm not overly familiar with some of these guys. But again, when you've got Russ going coast to coast and there's a little circle that says Westbrook, I know who he is.
Yeah, we know. Trust me. We know. We know. Are you putting any of this on maybe?
What is this, first of all? Any of this?
Any of this as far as Keegan is concerned?
Okay.
On maybe not enough focus on him, not running enough plays to get Keegan loose. You putting anything on the coaching staff?
You got to make shots. You got to make
There
shots.
was one sequence, I think he got, 2 for $1, and he bricked again. He's got to figure it out. It's the yips. We did De La Salle. We had a sports psychologist.
Sure.
Okay? And we had a sports psychologist that was, very early in the process. This is 07, 08. And they came in and they would talk about visualization. I'm not saying Keegan's not doing any of this already, but Whitey, this is how you get rid of the yips, right? So then when
not have the
then
yips.
when I got to Temple, I started working my visualization. How did I used to catch the baseball? Did I squeeze it? Did I squeeze it before?
Yips. Not being able to catch the balls are yips.
Did I squeeze it before? Did the ball close my glove for me? I even thought, and I can say this because I'm done now, I don't know if this is illegal, but there was a point in time where I thought, what if I just put a little bit of pine tar in my glove? Jay, I don't know if that's illegal or not. Just a little bit of pine tar. No harm, no foul.
Not unless you get caught.
I got a black glove, so you can't tell.
You good.
Then the ball would get pine tar.
That was my thought.
The pitchers would realize, and then, he's snapping it.
He would get in trouble. The pitcher would get in trouble. I thought about it, though.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'll get to the phones when we come back. And yes, it looks like the Kings have closed the book on one young player at least. Back with that and more. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot stop your new clients from emailing you at 3 a.m. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you be in 3 places at once. And while we can't help you organize your calendar, LinkedIn can help you land more clients so you have a calendar to organize. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Before we get back to the Kings conversation, I just want to point out today is National Trading Card Day. So I actually brought in a trading card for Alan. I know, Alan, last Friday when we had Emran in, you were talking about maybe getting involved in trading cards. So I have this for you. This is from my personal collection, and you may have that to keep, and maybe it becomes a big card for you someday.
Whoa! Are you kidding me?
That's yours. That's your guy, right?
Tejan Salam. You ripped this?
Yes.
Whoa!
Rookie card. Green prism. There you go.
Look, when it sells for $20K, I get you. You can get 3%.
You don't have to do that, but
okay.
That's nice of you to keep me in mind.
Man, oh man. Honey.
Happy National
The kids are going to school, baby. The kids are going to college, sweetie.
There you go.
Don't you worry.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Thanks, Whitey.
Mm-hmm.
This is great.
Yeah. See, it says RC on there, rookie card.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You never know. Wow.
I hope it works out for you.
Oh, it's going to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go check it out.
Meanwhile, according to Wikipedia, the yips are a sudden, involuntary loss of fine motor skills or control during a specific task, often affecting athletes and performers. Yips are characterized by involuntary muscle spasms, twitches, jerks, or freezing. I know Keegan's not shooting the ball well.
Okay, that's a little...
But I don't think we're...
Yeah, it's not the letter of the law.
Yips land yet.
Okay, look, that's not how I categorize yips. It's not the letter of the law. I'm telling you, know what it is, Whitey.
Yeah. The exact cause of the yips not fully understood. It is believed to result from a combination of neurological and psychological factors. Yeah.
You know, I think it might have been 2022, and nobody talks about it because the Warriors won. But it was one of these playoff runs where Steph kind of got a little yippee-ki-yay from the free throw line, and he was missing a good amount of free throws.
He missed a couple. See, that's not yips.
That's high-level yips. That's high-level yips. Somebody, Kimberly, isn't Killian Hayes and Markelle Fultz the personification of yips? No, they can't shoot. I don't know about Markelle Fultz because he had the shoulder thing.
Yeah, I think he might have had a little bit of that because there was a period where he couldn't shoot, and I think they decided, or at least announced officially, it's because he's hurt.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Kimberly may be right.
Well, I don't know but not Killian, though. Like Killian, Ben Simmons, those guys can't shoot. That's not the yips. Mm-hmm. That's if you could do something and then you no longer can.
Ben, maybe, because remember, he refused to shoot. There were periods in which he just would not do it.
Right, but then in the summer, we used to see Zion lost. You know, it was the summer cycle. Zion lost weight. Ben Simmons has unlocked the 3-ball. That was like 4 summers in a row. Then he would come back and not shoot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother level of yips where I can't even fathom doing it.
I think there's somebody on the station this week who may have suggested the Kings kick the tires on Ben Simmons.
It was a bit. Right?
You must have been, right?
Must have been. Yeah.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Hey, Dwayne is back with us on Sactown Sports. Dwayne, what's going on?
Hey, what's up with the homies?
I'm glad you
what's
checked
up, Dwayne?
in. We were just talking about you.
I know. I heard it, man. I had to call in. But, yeah, man, the yips is a real thing, man. It's pretty scary, too, because it's pretty rare.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? When you see it, you know it's the yips. You know, you mentioned Dan Keel. That was real nasty, man. He turned into 50 cents from the bump, bro.
Yeah.
Knobloch couldn't throw it to first base, and neither could Steve Sachs. Sachs went through it for the Dodgers, bro, and it was real ugly, bro. It was not even close. So let's hope that Keegan Murray's not on that level, man, 'cause that's like a mental break, man. Now, if he goes 0 from 3 tomorrow night, man, you might have some action at that take, Alan. But, you know, you guys remember Keegan Murray.
Yeah, right.
Is that still a thing? Is that still a thing?
Oh, yeah.
He don't have the yips yet, man. He just can't shoot. He just can't shoot, man. And the cold part is we could have had Lauri Markkanen. I think he was the piece that held up the trade for us to get Markkanen. He was the untouchable piece that everybody wanted. We could have came up on a real gangster type like Markkanen, bro, from Arizona player, you know, and he shows out in the NBA annually, bro. We could have loved that size and what he brings to the table. You know, it's true, bro. Keegan Murray got his money, and then he got married. He's running around with no testosterone. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows, bro, before a fight, poontang is bad for you, bro.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, thank you, Dwayne, for sharing some of that with us.
Yeah. Great shout on the marketing thing. I think that's a great conversation to have. Looking back on it, would you have done that deal? I know it's a bonus in marketing. Some people weren't sure how that would work because neither of them are defensive anchors, if you will. But it's definitely worth the conversation now, you know, because that would have been what? Fox, Sabonis, Markkanen, and you just prey on defense. But maybe you could have, you know, messed around with a 6 seed.
I have not given up on Keegan yet. I understand why people are discouraged, and I understand some people have said, no, I never thought he was that good. I haven't given up on him yet. I understand it. I'm not with you, at least not yet. We were talking about Devin Carter, how it looks like they may have made up their mind on him. Last 6 games, minutes played for him, going back to, I think it was the Cleveland game, 27 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 6 and 0. 6 was the San Antonio game. Yeah. So even then it looked like, oh, okay. Then you bring in Killian Hayes, and he didn't play at all last night. It seems to me that they feel like we gave him his chance, and it just is not there.
Did you see him on the bench last night? I don't know that I caught him on the bench.
I don't think I did, but I wasn't paying that much attention to the bench.
I think the big question will be, not that I'm hoping for this, but hey, could be the Kings are winning in the next blowout situation. If he doesn't get in a blowout situation, I think that's a straight up, we're done here. Because the real question is, and I know people hate the word fair when it comes to sports, but Whitey, we could look at the game logs. What? They gave him, I don't know if it would be in good faith. Did they actually give him a shot, or was it for them to say, hey, we gave you a quote-unquote shot? Because you can look back at the game logs and say, yeah, I mean, there's 20 more games left. You gave him about not more than 10, 15.
True, but he didn't play especially well. Even some of those games where I think his point totals were a little surprising. His point total, I think he had 19 one game. If you just looked at that, I was like, wow, he's being aggressive. But if you watch the games, I didn't think he played well. By the way, do you have an answer for this? This is a great question. Who is the GOAT of yips?
I mean, what?
Ankiel wrote a book about it. Rick Ankiel,
Yeah.
and I don't know how many people remember him. Obviously, Dwayne does. That was really bad. Steve Sachs was a famous one.
It's probably Ankiel, right? He's number one. You know,
Alan Stiles is a guy who couldn't catch the ball.
it was
which I
a
never
blip.
heard of.
It was a blip. It just came at a very bad time in my career.
I understand. Yeah.
You know who's another one? And this guy's also dealt with injuries, and it's kind of been a sad story. He came over, played with the Giants, and people wanted them to keep him. They ended up not doing that, ended up being really smart. Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant just one day forgot how to field a ground ball at third. I don't know if there were injuries involved, but then they tried to throw him in left field, and now he doesn't even play. He can't even get healthy for the Rockies.
His back is deteriorating.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that's connected, but all I know is he went from being a pretty solid third baseman, and one day woke up and they said, we got to try you out in left. And I woke up, what just happened here?
I would think baseball is the sport in which it happens most frequently because there's so much time where you're standing there waiting and you can think.
Mhm.
Whereas, when you're playing basketball or soccer or even football, when you're doing it, you don't have that much time.
Yeah.
As much time to think.
Unless, and this is the obvious one, is Amid Rock throws in Jake Moody. Yeah, it's definitely kickers. That's the obvious choice because they're the ones, they're literally just sitting there waiting. So I don't even know. We might need to just put kickers in a different category because they're obvious. They have one job, right? This is something that is amongst all your other jobs when I think about the yips. You can get it, don't get me wrong, but somebody brought up putting. So that means it's not, you don't have yips in golf. You can drive, your second shot's good, you chip, and then you putt specifically. Kickers are weird because that's all they do. So I don't know if I want to count them, but they definitely can get the yips.
Skinner Leonard says Bill Buckner is the GOAT of yips. No, he had one really bad play.
Yeah.
But yips is not one botch job. Yips is where you just go through a period where you can't do something.
Yeah.
Your brain just won't allow you to do something that you know you could do in your sleep.
Yes.
Like Alan said, once you get that break in the transmission between the brain and the body, once that connection, there's a little crimp in there. It's like, forget it.
Yep.
You're in big trouble, mister.
Today, when you're eating your dinner, think to yourself, how do I normally hold my fork? And I guarantee you will trip out. You'll trip out. It's a mini yips because I'm thinking, do I hold it like a pen? How do I hold this fork? Then you forget about it and you go back to normal.
There's a fine line between the yips and just being aware.
Just being weird.
Just being aware. Just being cognizant.
I'm telling you,
everything around
sometimes
you.
I'm eating, I'm in a nice restaurant. Wait, am I holding my fork correctly? You know what I mean? What's going on here?
You are just a classic overthinker.
Yes, that's true. That's also true.
Yeah.
That can drive the yips.
I think so. We'll come back with a look at what the NBA may do with Kawhi. There's also some interesting, not necessarily good 49er news regarding Trent Williams. That and more. Coming up, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your number one source for all your Northern California sports. Sactown Sports 1140.
Two iconic comedians. One night of laughs. David Spade, Dana Carvey.
In 1998, they invented the cordless mic. Now let me just, listen, Paramount Theater, let's not jump on trends.
Even in the best marriage, at one point, you look over and go, not my best choice.
Friday, February 27th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now at visitthundervalleyresort.com. David Spade and Dana Carvey, together.
Progressive Insurance knows pets, and one of the biggest differences between people and pets is that we don't eat things off the floor. But dogs definitely will, and it makes them so happy, no matter what it looks like, smells like, or what state of decomposition it's in. We all want to go through life that carefree, and that's also why you should get Progressive Pet Insurance, because they eat things off the floor. So protect your pet from all the questionable life decisions they make. You know where they drink from when you're gone, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally Towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
If your business depends on reliable vehicles, it's time to upgrade your fleet at myelkgrovechevrolet.com. We specialize in fleet pricing, bulk discounts, and fast approvals, so your team stays on the road and on the job. From work trucks and vans to fuel-efficient sedans and SUVs, we have the inventory, service, and financing to keep your business moving. Call or visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today and ask about exclusive fleet savings. myelkgrovechevrolet.com, driving business forward. Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your #1 source for all your Northern California sports. Sactown Sports 1140.
afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Before we get any further, want to set the record straight. Thanks to Ramsey, thanks to Emmadrock for pointing out. We were just talking about Devin Carter, how he hasn't played much last 2 games. Does that mean that he's fallen out of favor? He's actually hurt, Alan. So
yes,
yeah,
back stuff.
Yeah,
it was a late ad. I think Ramsey saw it came out during game night, so we had already hopped off. And how everything, I don't know that that's all over the news. We couldn't even find out what was going on with Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Right.
So I think it kind of got snuck in there really close to game time.
Yes. So I withdraw the comments, and we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see where it goes from here.
And honestly, to kind of connect that back to Russ, I mean, does Russ play this much if Devin was available? I don't know. Maybe not.
We've got your new point guard. Your shiny new point guard.
You should get him in there. Don't get me started.
We were so excited yesterday, too. And I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, to be fair, it was more about Patrick.
He had 5 fouls yesterday.
Yeah, he did. I don't know how that happened. It was more about Patrick Baldwin Jr.
Yeah, you did say that.
It was more about him. Mm-hmm. So I'm still clean there.
Yeah.
We don't know.
And Killian Hayes he didn't make any shots. He had no turnovers.
He was a +6 on the night.
The team was +6 when he was on the floor. Let's put it that way.
That's how you win games.
Is it? Who had a better game? Killian Hayes or Daquan Plowden?
Daquan.
Oh, well, let's see. He was -4.
He played more minutes.
He couldn't have.
No, he played more minutes. Doesn't count the same way. If you can be a +6 in 11 minutes, that means you're doing some of the right stuff. In your first game, you barely had a practice. You just got off the plane, and he's throwing dimes like Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, it was his first game, but the three-point line is still 23-9, what it's been all this year and every year in his NBA career.
Look, there's yips. And then there's, no, I'm saying there's yips, and then, hey, I just gotta, get the wiggles out a little bit. First game with a new team. I'm glad he took the shots.
I will say, thinking back, I don't think any of them were like bad shots.
There was one that was kind of off. A good shooter misses long or short. There was one that was.
But I mean, like poor shot selection.
Right.
Yeah, they were all like in the flow, and they were open there. Of course, I think maybe there's a reason why he was open.
I was surprised as you hire up his kind of highlight tape. I was surprised that he didn't just try to get to with no center specifically. I was surprised he didn't at least try to get to the.
We're doing a radio show, Alan.
Yeah, well, it was for the Airlink stuff. I was surprised that he didn't get to the kind of the middle of the floor a little bit into the key and get the little midi to get warm. I was surprised he didn't do
Attack
that.
the basket
he just
more.
started hucking threes immediately. I respect it.
Yeah. Well, I know everyone thought they were so clever on X last night. They're 1-0 since Killian Hayes joined the team.
They get it.
Yeah, he's the best ever.
Yep, they get it now.
You didn't stoop to that level, did you? I don't think you did.
No. I mean, he only played 11 minutes. He was a +6, and we saw what he can do.
So good signing.
Look, he definitely would have scored if they let him spin for more than 11 minutes. How about that?
He definitely would have scored if one of his 4 shots would have come close to going in actually had gone in.
At least let him get warm, Doug. They needed that win. You got the win. Now let's get back on track. I need Killian. I need 20 minutes at least.
Top of the hour, we're going to talk to Andy Bailey from Bleacher Report about some things going on in the NBA, how they could impact the Kings. Something going on right now, which is interesting, according to Tom Haberstroh of Yahoo Sports. The nuclear option may be on the table for the NBA with Kawhi Leonard and the aspiration scandal. There's a school of thought, which I would say is educated speculation, that the league may not punish the team, but they may come right after. Well, obviously, if they go nuclear and Kawhi Leonard's contract is voided, that would, in a way, punish the team because they would lose Kawhi Leonard. But that may be the way they go. So now you've got teams that people are saying, oh, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Knicks may be interested in Kawhi Leonard because who might be available for other teams is always infinitely more interesting for some reason in NBA media circles than who's actually on teams and playing and the results of actual games.
Yeah, so this is something else. I mean, Adam Silver is really earning his paycheck because this is something else that will need to be resolved pretty quickly, right, Whitey? I mean, you throw in the draft and you throw in some of the other the lottery, some of the other things that are coming down the pipe, and all of the new tanking rules that they want to implement, this is all connected. You have to get this taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to walk something back. I'd read somewhere that some people don't know that the Clippers will be punished, but they may. Many believe that a formal punishment from the NBA could be coming. Possible penalties for the Clippers include a colossal fine, which is no penalty at all with Steve Ballmer, right? And or a loss of future draft picks. If Leonard's contract gets voided, he would immediately become a free agent. And your Warriors could be back in it.
They could be. I think that would definitely. Now, the question with Kawhi is, would he do the Bradley Beal thing, or would he say, I need my money? Because it still feels like, I don't know, I feel like Kawhi is going to say, I need my money, and the Warriors do not have that. The Knicks could probably figure out a way. I know the Lakers could figure out a way. They got LeBron coming off the book, so you pair Kawhi with Luka, so the Lakers could figure out a way, but I do not think this is going to be a buyout of Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's got 2 rings. He's got his finals MVP. I don't think he is tripping as far as I need my 3rd ring. I think that brother wants his money.
He's making $50 million this season from the Clippers and is owed $50.3 million for next season too.
Yeah.
So it could require some cap gymnastics to fit him onto another roster.
Well, okay, so if they void that deal, that means he's not getting that $50 million. So Kawhi would say, I need that $50 million.
Right. I'm assuming that that's what he would be asking for, but there's no guarantee he'll get it.
Right. Yeah. And, I mean, he is – it's this funny thing. We were talking about sports psychology. Players do seem to figure it out in these contract years. It's not really a contract year for him, but how many times have we seen guys in a contract year, regardless of the sport, absolutely ball out? And, you know, maybe you don't see them return back to that after they sign the contract. So he's having a great year for somebody to say, yeah, we'll give him $50 million maybe for 1 year. Mm-hmm. And you just pray that he's going to be able to do it again. I think that would be my fear, Whitey, that he's kind of wasting bullets right now on a team that's not doing much. And if you look, it kind of as if it's Christian McCaffrey. The Niners wasted a very healthy Christian McCaffrey season. Are you going to pay him $50 million and bet on Kawhi to be healthy again? I don't know.
We also have this in terms of contract news from Adam Schefter from the NFL, with 5-time All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams scheduled to carry a $39 million cap number this season. He and the 49ers currently are struggling to find a contractual solution, per league sources. If the two sides, the 49ers and Trent Williams, cannot bridge their differences in their standoff, according to Adam Schefter, Williams could be expected to join this year's free agent class, making him one of the premier players available. The 49ers without Trent Williams, what are they going to do?
I know this might not be popular, but doesn't it seem like, in a way, the Niners could maybe take a deep breath if they just moved on? I know he's the best in the game, but didn't we every other year he's wanting to be restructured? Mm-hmm. And if you are in a position, this was a rebuilding year, even though we didn't really believe that when George Kittle said it, it just feels like it's to a point where unless you think, hey, this is the year where we are going to figure it out and win the whole thing, every year this guy is ready for a restructure. Now, unlike Juwan Jennings, I'm not saying Trent Williams doesn't deserve it. He can do whatever he wants and find a team to give him what he wants. If you're the Niners, though, are you just kind of tired of this?
Maybe you're a little tired of it, but also, as good as he still is, you also realize we can't run the ball. We might need to address that in terms of our offensive line. Not that that's all on Trent Williams, but we need to be able to run the ball.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying to let him go, but it just might be a position where the Niners need to figure out where they want to go, and do you want to continue to do this dance? You're just going to be right back in the same situation next season when he asks for another restructure.
Mm-hmm. But they'd be hard-pressed to fill what would be a gaping hole. Mm-hmm. A gaping hole if they lose Trent.
They also put themselves in a position where they've drafted well. They've been able to get guys via trade and otherwise, but they put themselves in these situations where Trent has a level of leverage as well as George Kittle, because the guys that they've drafted to kind of fill those voids haven't done anything.
Here's my read on this. We know Adam Schefter is pretty close with Mike Shanahan. I think they wrote a book together. Mm-hmm. So whenever Schefter has any 49er-related news, I'm assuming there's a really good chance it's coming through the Shanahans.
Right.
So if that's true in this case, this is the 49ers telling Trent Williams, we might have to say goodbye. If we can't figure something out, you don't come to the table, come to terms, you might be bye-bye. So if you want to go somewhere else, fine. But we've gone about as far as we're willing to go on this.
Here's the real question. Is he the reason that you believe that you have a chance to win a Super Bowl? And maybe he is, but there's so much other stuff going on with the Niners that I don't know. They just might not be in a position where they can be held hostage again.
Andy Bailey from Bleacher Report will join us next to talk about everything going on in the NBA and how it affects your Kings. Next, Sactown Sports.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and operated. We know what businesses like yours need, from reliable printers to high-performance copiers. We'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
Planet Fitness has everything you need, anytime the motivation hits. So you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late-night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at PepsiPromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Go Inc.
What's cracking? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. Chad, tell us what's happening for Ram Truck Month.
Well, there's no better time to get a Ram than Ram Truck Month. Right now, save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 1500 Crew Cabs. Or save big when you take advantage of the $7,000 Hoblet discount and get 0% financing for 60 months. You'll save thousands in finance charges on top of the huge Hoblet discount.
Yeah, I can't even believe 0% financing is an option at the moment.
It's not an easy thing to find nowadays, but we're always looking to help you save money. Plus, with over 400 new Rams available, you can save big on your perfect Ram. At Hoblet, we focus on you and helping you get the Ram you need.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
15,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie after 8,000 factory rebates and 7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 2,000 select inventory bonus cash on select inventory, 1,000 SFS bonus cash, must finance through Stellantis, 500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. 5% net savings, see dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Here's where we are right now with this whole Kings thing on the text line, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. That win was like cool, but I wasn't emotionally invested in it, Alan.
I understand that. I understand that. You know, people were getting on me because I said, oh, there weren't really any significant significant notes from the young guys, and someone said Maxime had a double-double and Clifford had a solid game. Yeah, you're right, but to me it just had a summer league feel. No disrespect to the Grizzlies, but they didn't have a center on the floor.
Yeah, tanking is tough on everybody. What is the NBA going to do about it? Let's find out here. Nice enough to join us from Bleacher Report, Andy Bailey. How are you today, Andy? Thanks for your time.
I am doing pretty well. I appreciate you guys having me.
Does the NBA need to reconsider the tanking crackdown, given how two of the most fun teams, Detroit and San Antonio, use tanking to get where they are, and the league is benefiting from that?
Absolutely. My take on this, basically since Adam Silver acted like it was a 5-alarm fire, is that they were overblowing it, frankly. And there are much more pressing issues that he could be giving his time and attention to, like, I don't know, the fact that they had a player indicted for fixing prop bets. They had a coach indicted for allegedly participating in fixed poker games. They have one of the best players in the league being investigated for cap circumvention. I could go on and on about officiating problems. I can't stand the way that flopping has the NBA has lost control of that issue. I think the way they interpret the traveling rule is not right. And I don't know if it's outright like a distraction, but I just think the general reaction to the tanking thing, starting with what they did to the Jazz and the Pacers, has just been so overblown. This has been a part of the league and a part of the game for decades, and many, many teams have benefited from it. And to yank that option away, or to try to take that option away from small market teams now, right after you introduced these incredibly onerous rules with the new salary cap and the aprons and all that stuff, the whole thing just seems kind of absurd to me.
Andy, does that, I guess we don't know what the changes will be, but we saw this come out from Mark Stein. Does this change how teams might head into the summer based on how obviously Adam Silver is trying to scare people? Like, if you're the Kings, should they look to maybe keep Domantas Sabonis because, hey, we don't know if we're going to be able to get 3 top picks the next 3 years, so we might have to hold on to somebody like Sabonis and do a hybrid rebuild type deal?
Yeah, that's another thing. That's a good way to put it. It's kind of another layer of unfairness, in my opinion, to forecast, here's 10 potential changes, all of which could change the way that you build your team or the way you think about the next 5 years of your team. But we're not going to tell you which one's going to go into place because we don't know. And so you kind of have to, I think if you're in a front office, you have to at least consider the possibility that any of those would go into place. I think if you're in a position like the Kings or some of these other teams that are racing to the bottom this year, I would probably just lean as hard into the tank now as you possibly can, because the other part about this is the reason there's so many teams tanking this season is because this has a potential to be a generational draft class. And so you take advantage of this, you get your potential star this year, and you just kind of deal with whatever fallout is coming in terms of the rule changes. But that's a great point that you raise. I mean, they've essentially set up 5 different domino tracks, and they're telling teams you got to guess which one we're going to knock over. It's kind of ridiculous.
Andy Bailey, nice enough to join us from Bleacher Report. I know you talked about the possibility that all of the focus here from the league on tanking might be a distraction. It's very curious. I think it is a distraction, but it does seem like also they're genuine when they talk about what they're going to do, because it seems like teams, I know Sean Marks was quoted in a piece in The Athletic, seems like teams are getting ready to try to figure out how they're going to deal with this. So I think the league is both using this as a distraction, but at the same time, it sounds like they do mean business. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair way to characterize it. And it sounds like he was very stern, pardon the pun, in a call with the general managers recently. And so it does seem like something is coming down the tracks, and you got to take that seriously if you're in a front office. And let's say it's not a distraction. I was the one who first brought that up. And another thing that I think that this league office is sometimes guilty of is harping on about problems that don't really move a needle, or problems that may be unsolvable. There's always going to be bad teams in professional sports and in professional basketball. And to say that you're going to fix tanking is essentially saying we're going to eliminate bad teams. And I just don't think that's possible. And so whether it's a distraction or not, another possibility is that it could be Adam Silver just once again preaching about an issue that's there's not going to be a meaningful change. I mean, a lot of the potential fixes that have been brought up in the last couple of weeks, in my opinion, they just shift the target, which is exactly what the last fix did. And I was actually kind of optimistic about flattening the lottery odds. I thought that's an interesting idea. We'll see how it plays out. All it's done, I think, in practice is make more teams tank. And so whatever they introduce over the next couple of years, it's not going to get rid of the issue entirely. It's just going to morph it, just like it did the last time.
Andy, we discussed the small market versus the big market situation. Obviously, the term is free agency, but do you think there is a reason there's all this talk about the small markets and the idea of OKC being a 1 seed and Detroit being a 1 seed, all this talk about tanking and I guess ways for small markets to get better, but we'll never hear anything about free agency and how New York and LA and Miami, those teams obviously are going to be able to benefit from free agency. There'll never be a conversation about that, right?
No, not from the league, I wouldn't think. The NBA, more than any other professional sports league, in my opinion, and I'm not an MLB expert or an NFL expert, but I certainly pay attention to some degree. The difference between the glamour markets or the big markets and the small markets in the NBA is so vast, especially relative to these other leagues. And free agency really isn't an option for a lot of teams in the league. Frankly, trades have almost become a non-option for these other teams too, because you have to give up 4 or 5 first-round picks to get a superstar player. You have to mortgage your future to get him. And then you have to be on pins and needles about whether or not you'll be able to convince him to stay long-term. And so those two options for team building have essentially never been on the table for small market teams. I think they're even less on the table now than they were in the past because of this current collective bargaining agreement. And so it's always been, if you want to be a contender as one of these small market teams, you have to nail it in the draft. And so, and the other thing about it is over the last several decades, they have seen teams successfully bottom out for a couple years, get a superstar player, and then be a contender. Like you said, there's a few that have done that are currently winning right now. And so to try and erase the precedent and take away the only team building option that these small market teams have is, I keep coming back to the word ridiculous, but that's really all I can think of when I think of this whole discussion.
Yeah, Andy Bailey from Bleacher Report, nice enough to join us. And Andy, Kings just snapped a long losing streak, and it's affected a lot of people in Sacramento in different ways. I feel like sometimes I've gotten delirious to the point where I think Marvin Bagley actually might be playing well this year. Am I imagining that, or is that actually going on?
No, that you're not imagining that.
Wow.
It is actually going on. I feel for Sacramento Kings fans. I have a good friend who grew up in Sacramento and is still there. And he was talking to me about it recently. I think I sort of flippantly said something on Twitter about, gosh, they've hit a new low, which is kind of crazy for the Kings. When you think about all the lows that they've hit. And he responded to me and said, just imagine living here for 20 years and being a fan of this team for 20 years. And I really felt for him because I know how attached people can get to their teams. So I feel for the fans, and I watched Marvin Bagley a little bit this year, and I've certainly been paying attention to him statistically, and he's kind of flourishing with the Wizards and now with the Mavericks, which is just kind of another kick in the gut for these poor Kings fans. It's got to be tough to see that, to see somebody move on and seemingly get better coaching, better development at these other organizations. And it's not like the Wizards are some world beater either. I mean, they've had their own troubled history. And so it's got to be tough for Kings fans to see that from a guy like Marvin Bagley. I guess the silver lining, of course, is, Alan, I think the last time you and I spoke on your show, we talked about how they probably should tank, but they hadn't gotten rid of the veterans. So we wondered if they understood that they should tank, and it didn't matter. No. They still have a shot at the number 1 pick. So if they emerge from this with one of these guys that looks really, really good from college, you can get your hopes up again. But I wouldn't blame any Kings fan for being guarded about that.
Yeah. With that being said, Andy, you led me right to it. It's kind of a question we're asking everybody these days. Who is your number 1 in this 2026 NBA draft? Who do you have for the number 1 spot?
I think I'm going to go with Debanza, but I'm not confident in the slightest. And it's obviously not because of a lack of talent. It's because of an excess of talent. I mean, there's so many guys in this draft that look really, really good, including the top 3. I think the 3 contenders for the top pick are Peterson, Debanza, and Boozer. And, a lot of people are saying, how is Boozer's game, how is his athleticism going to translate to the NBA? And I think that's maybe fair to a degree, but one of the numbers that I look at when I look at college players is box plus minus. It's typically been a pretty good predictor. At least if you have like a super high box plus minus, you're usually pretty effective in the NBA, and he's way up there. And I think it's fair to say, hey, I mean, the best player in the world for the last 5 or 6 years has been a guy that nobody will tout his athleticism. Right. So I think Boozer could and probably will be fine. Peterson, I think, maybe has the highest ceiling of all of them, which gives him a good argument to go number 1. And I know that we just got an article from ESPN. I haven't read it yet, but it seems like it's trying to explain why he's sitting all these games and why he's coming out early. And maybe there's some compelling argument in there, but that stuff worries me a little bit. Just not knowing exactly what's going on was kind of weird for so long. So that would make me maybe a little bit hesitant. And I think the one that I don't really see red flags with yet is Debanza. I mean, a lot of analytics guys will tell you some of his stuff doesn't figure to translate as well as it is in college. But I see that frame. I see the way he uses his stride. I see the way he's taken over some games at BYU, including a recent one after the Saunders ACL. Right. That guy looks like a star to me. And so right now I probably lean him.
Andy Bailey from Bleacher Report with us. I'm not sure this is fair, Andy, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What's your best guess as far as how the NBA decides to deal with the Clippers, the aspiration situation? I know Tom Haberstroh today said the NBA is weighing potential penalties that include stripping draft picks, banning Ballmer from the arena, invalidating Kawhi Leonard's contract to make him an unrestricted free agent. You got any feelings or thoughts about which way they should go, which way they will go in dealing with this?
I hadn't seen that. And a couple of those I naturally shake my head because what does banning Steve Ballmer from the arena do? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if you make Kawhi Leonard an unrestricted free agent, that's almost a reward for him. Mm-hmm. He gets to go and join a contender. That's ridiculous too. I saw something from Tim Kawakami that said that he had heard some rumblings that it may be a more Kawhi-centered penalty and less Clippers, which also kind of bugged me because I'm not in the room with the law firm investigating stuff, and I haven't seen all the evidence. But what was presented in those podcasts that Pablo Torre did all those months ago was very strong evidence to me. As you guys may know, I'm a full-time attorney. And so I heard a lot of people talking in the wake of that about, it's all circumstantial. There's no smoking gun. In most courts of law, circumstantial evidence, they tell the jury this has every bit as much weight as direct evidence. And in the NBA's collective bargaining agreement and Constitution, one of the provisions says right there, if there's no reasonable explanation, other than cap circumvention, the commissioner can slap whatever penalty he wants on him, basically.
Yeah.
And I have yet to see a reasonable explanation for all the stuff that's been presented other than it was cap circumvention. And I thought I heard or read about 5 smoking guns. Frankly, I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but every time there was a new revelation, I thought they're cheating. And I think it's ridiculous, honestly, to say it's one or the other. I think it was both the team and the player. And again, I'll throw up all of this is alleged at this point, and I'm not clued into the investigation, but just my take on it from the outside is that some kind of hammer should be dropped on both of them. I've never had any confidence at any point that would happen. I think generally speaking, Adam Silver wants to be on good personal terms with both his star players and his owners. Yeah. And so that makes it difficult to really drop the hammer on either side of this thing.
Andy, one more for you, at least on my side. I was going to ask you what Scott Perry and the Kings should do moving into the summer, but I can't really ask you that because we don't know what these new tanking rules are going to be. So instead, I will ask you, what do you make of the job Scott Perry has done so far? Obviously, he trades for DeAndre Hunter, who got poked in the eye, and now he had eye surgery. A couple of guys have been shut down. They move on from Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. Some fans weren't thrilled about the return on that. What type of grade would you give Scott Perry for his first year here as GM for the Kings?
Man, it would be hard. You tell me if I'm being too harsh, but it's got to be no higher than a D. I don't think the team is performing anywhere near where he thought it would. I think that they should have gotten out of the Levine and DeRozan and Sabonis business probably a while ago, and that's easier said than done. I mean, they may well have tried to shop some of those guys and just didn't get any reasonable offers back. That's a possibility. But I also didn't really like the DeAndre Hunter move. I think the writing was on the wall that this core needed to be stripped down and start over. And the DeAndre Hunter move was kind of the opposite of that. It was almost saying this guy fits with Levine and DeRozan and Sabonis. Yeah. As for your first question, I still think, even if we don't know for sure what the new rules are going to be for tanking, I think the smartest thing for the Kings is to get whatever you can for the veterans, devote more minutes to the young guys, especially the incoming ones that aren't even on the team yet, regardless of who it is. There are some interesting young players there. You guys mentioned Raynaud at the beginning of this segment. As somebody near Colorado, I'm intrigued by Nique Clifford. Keegan Murray, I think we could probably still say is a young guy. There is some reason for cautious optimism, but until the front office really leans into that, it's kind of hard to embrace it.
Well, with that, counselor, we rest our case. Thanks very much for your time. We appreciate your insight, and we hope to talk to you again soon, Andy. Thanks very much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always fun.
Andy Bailey, Bleacher Report. Alan Stiles with the bomb. Grade, Scott Perry. What grade would you give Scott Perry?
I do think he tried. I think he tried to move off of the guy, so I'd probably go C+.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Andy's right. I think even Scott Perry, if he was being forthright, he'd say, look, we got some things we're trying to do, but right now, look where it is. Yeah, I just haven't been able to do anything.
Is that an incomplete?
No, it's minimum achievement.
Yeah.
Right? That's what a D is. Remember, I might have gotten one.
No, I remember. Algebra 2.
Minimum achievement.
Yeah.
It hasn't been average. It's been below average.
If you take out the context of, well, he tried, then yeah. You can't give him anything.
You, Alan Stiles, shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
What grade do you give Scott Perry? Well, he tried.
He tried. I mean,
what have you done with the real Alan Stiles?
No, he did, though. I gave him a C. Fine, it's a C. Now, I'll get rid of the plus. No 2.3 GPA.
Average
here.
Achievement. Okay.
I would say average. I think there were
having coffee with him tomorrow or something?
No, maybe. I think there were I think there were some miscalculations on his part as far as how easy it was going to be to move off of some of the contracts. And if he had known that, I don't know that he brings in Schroeder. I know we've gone back and forth. He brought in Schroeder to flip him, but I didn't like the flip. I didn't like the flip for DeAndre Hunter. I didn't. So the one move that he made, I didn't enjoy. So I can't give you anything better than a C.
Are you emotionally invested at all in the Clipper Kawhi saga? I am, because I am still suspecting that the NBA is up to some shenanigans.
Yeah.
And we'll see. And I know Andy Bailey cited I didn't realize it was a Tim Kawakami report.
Right.
But to me, that's where the league is leaning. They would love to crack down on Kawhi and not on the Clippers. Obviously, it's hard to do that if you void the contract. As we said, it hurts the Clips too, but that's one of the things that I think the NBA is trying to distract us from with all the taking talk.
Yeah. It's not that I'm not emotionally involved. I don't really have the capacity to follow it along. I'm intrigued at how it ends. I just can't follow every single update. I don't got that in the.
Yeah,
I don't got
I understand.
that. I don't got the capabilities for it.
Yeah, and it is kind of, and it's been going on, and I think part of that is by design. The league will stretch it out, draw it out,
and people won't pay attention anymore.
Exactly.
So I am an example of the league and what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but even though the playoffs are coming, and I know we're not even to March yet, there are some interesting things going on this season, although we're kind of insulated from it here, unfortunately. But if Kawhi's contract is voided, or if there's even reason to think it will be, as far as ESPN's concerned, that is story 1A.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that
is
saves
around
them.
The clock.
So, move
Kawhi
over.
watch.
Move over, Giannis, you bum.
Yeah.
Go eat your Twinkies in the corner. We got Kawhi watch. Would it make anybody feel better or make this feel more genuine if Adam Silver came out and said, look, guys, and he has said it in so many words, but if he had straight up, look, we are happy for the Spurs and what they were able to do, but what they did, that is not a model we want others to strive for. If he came out and said, because basically what he's saying is he's kind of just working around the fringes saying, yeah, that stuff isn't good, but
you're talking about the tanking?
Yeah, but Wemby is, they promote the you-know-what out of Wemby, and they love Cade.
That's the truth, Alan, but I would bet you anything the company line would be, we had this under control, but it got crazy this year.
Right.
That's not true.
Yeah.
As Andy Bailey mentioned, once they flattened the odds, that didn't even work. But I think the league, because remember, they also came out with the play-in tournament, and the commissioner, it's a tournament. I think the company line is, it was working. It wasn't.
Right.
But I think that's the company line. And then this year, it was the worst we've ever seen, and we had to do something about it.
Right. When we notice something that isn't working, we decide that we're going to address it. Yes, we're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
And hey, that's their thing this season. The overcorrection, he's just in Adam Silver is, I don't want to say a tough spot because a lot of people would love that job. Andy Bailey should be commissioner. Let's get Andy Bailey in there. But he does have to figure out a way to get this thing under control, because if you change things too much, I do think there's going to be maybe a level of, hey, you're kind of putting small markets in a terrible situation. And if they're right, I'm not saying that small markets won't be able to contend, but I am saying it could form a larger issue where there was some interest because the Timberwolves got an Anthony Edwards. There was some interest because of what OKC could do. If you don't have that interest and these small markets get removed, I saw something crazy where they discussed, what if down the line the NBA just had 3 teams in each of the big markets, and they just said bleep the small markets. We're going to have 3 New York teams, 4 California teams, a couple Texas teams, and 3 Florida teams, and just go from there.
I don't think that would ever work, because the Lakers, for example, there's no way they're going to say, put a team in Anaheim, and then,
But they
already have 2.
Well, I think what would happen is it would just get boiled down again, where I don't want to go to Anaheim, or I don't want to go to upstate New York. I want to go to New York City. So I don't think it would help, but it would, even Orlando's in a great area as far as the weather is concerned, but they don't get a ton of free agents.
How many small market teams are there? I'm just trying to think if there are enough of them to push back on this. I mean, wouldn't they be able to get some traction? But then you also have OKC, apparently, according to at least some suggestions, OKC being the team going, hey, Mr. Commissioner,
because
Utah's not doing it right.
Right, because just like the great Lucas said, everybody tough when they up. And OKC's up right now, so they're thinking, hey, we don't care about these bubs. We're trying to get our rings now.
Whatever you have to say about Darren Peterson, he ain't worried about it. We're back with that next on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Planet Fitness has everything you need anytime the motivation hits, so you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late-night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Hey there, Mark and Tom, the travel and entertainment guys, brought to you by Sports Leisure Vacations. Time for our weekly travel tip, and with it, here's Mark Hoffman.
Traveling has really become an us versus them thing. Hotels, airlines, and restaurants keep figuring out ways to take a few extra bucks from travelers. The latest examples come from the Edgewater Restaurant in Seattle and the Dolby Live Theater in Las Vegas. In Seattle, diners found a bogus $15 charge on their bill. It was a large party fee, except there were only 2 of them. Restaurant told the guests it was a pier maintenance fee, which is an outright lie. In Vegas, at the Dolby Theater, it wasn't enough to charge $25 each for margaritas and $8.75 for a bottle of water. Add the automatic gratuity of $27 and a surprise $16 administrative fee, and the cost of 3 beverages is $181. No wonder the number of Vegas visitors has gone in the toilet. Be a smarter traveler. When you run into one of these, share it all over social media and tell us where it happened.
More tips to make you a smarter traveler, Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports, 1140.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mami, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
A lot of people will tell us, a lot of draft experts will tell us, I think we've already heard it on this show, that this draft's not just 3 players deep. It might be 5 or more players deep. And it may be. Alan, I don't see it. Nothing against 4 through 8, however deep you want to go. This looks like it's going to be a really good draft, but to me, there's still, the top 3 still stand out.
Okay, because for a while, it did seem, and maybe that is parallel with Caleb Wilson going down, but for a while it looked like it was going to expand a little bit. Mm-hmm. You got those, those point guards, because as I recall, it was those guys. Then you had Caleb Wilson, who was another what was the term ball handling wing, right? A ball handling wing. Then after that, you had the point guards, right?
So you got Keaton Wagler. You got really good players in there.
Yes. Then after that, you have the point guards where, your boy Kingston Flemings has had a couple rougher games.
Struggled a little bit last night.
Those guards, there's always going to be some hits and misses because, they're not the biggest guys on the floor, and they can't just sit there and say, I'm going to get into the post and get some buckets.
You relate to that at all?
Not me, because I can get it. I can get to my spot no matter what. I don't know. Henry the High Flyer said he got me. Henry, by the time you figure out I'm lefty, I got about 4 buckets on you already. Playboy, we got you.
When I was coaching like youth basketball and we're in a tournament or even just a regular game and you're watching the other team warm up and you see somebody's left-handed, I'd always tell our players.
Yeah.
Just, 13, she's left-handed. Just keep that in mind.
But can I ask you something?
My brother, but please let me share this. I think this is fascinating. My brother, Phantom, once asked Jerry Reynolds this, and Jerry said, oh, yeah. My brother asked him, look, in basketball at any levels, if you're left-handed, isn't there like 8 to 10 free points just because it takes people a while to figure out you're left-handed? Jerry goes, oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I live it. All of us lefties live it. But answer this for me. How come when it's a lefty, everybody screams, make them go right, but with righties, you don't hear people screaming, make them go left? Is it because that's already what they're trying to do?
Yeah.
Because every time I grab the ball, make them go right. I'm looking around saying, well, that guy can't dribble with his left hand.
It's
You're
just
not
another
yelling.
way of saying he's left-handed.
Make him go right. No right. No right.
And your boy, Killian Hayes, by the way, he is almost all left.
Yeah. Do you think it's almost a crutch to where because you're left-handed, because you'll sneak in a couple points, you haven't worked on your right as much as right-handers work on their left? Because it does feel like left-handed players are more left dominant than right-handed players are right dominant.
Probably some of it, yeah.
I saw Killian make a layup with the right hand, though. I can't do that.
When in warm-ups?
Well, it was a highlight. And I was impressed, too.
Oh, you mean like with the Cleveland Charge?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
Because, Whitey, I'll show you.
I didn't see any go in last
I'll show
night.
you the clips. On that right side, I'm still going up with the left. I got to go up with the left.
I can relate. I was left hand still a work in progress myself, so I totally relate. Last night, as you mentioned, my guy Kingston Flemings did not have a great game. Kansas knocking off Houston. If you look just at the numbers, I think this is interesting. You look just at the numbers, Darren Peterson has 14 points and 5 of 14 shooting, and Kansas won 69-56. You just crunch the numbers, a box score. Oh, he didn't have a very good game. Obviously, he didn't have a great game, but he had a pretty good game. He fit into what they were doing. He was part of the overall attack. He did some good things with shot selection, understanding, time and score. Peterson had a pretty good game. He didn't have a great game, but he didn't have the dog of a game that I think you might think if you just looked 5 of 14. Oh, he's terrible.
Yeah.
And he played 30 minutes.
Yeah, I just love how I know there's been so much movement with who's in the Big 12, who's in the SEC. You can't keep up. But I do love how many just big-time games we're getting every Monday,
I know.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
Saturday, every single one. On your guy, Kingston Flemings, Whitey, he does seem a little bit he is a little bit midi happy, and he wasn't hitting them last night. A little too many middies
He was very
for me.
frustrated. You could tell last night. Kansas is a good team.
Little too many middies for me personally.
Here's what Darren Peterson said after the game about all the talk and the chatter about what's wrong with him. Does he want to play? It's been kind of normal this year. Somebody has had something to say probably after every game this year, so I don't really pay attention to it anymore. But in the postgame, Kelvin Sampson said of Kansas, he said, Kansas is one of those teams that you just never know, but they're pretty good. But so are we. We're pretty good too. Maybe down tonight, but we're pretty good. And somehow that got twisted into a shot at Darren Peterson. Darren Peterson said, what do you mean by Kansas? You never know. What that mean?
He said that.
A reporter explained that's what Kelvin Sampson said. Dang, I don't like that. That's what, so Darren Peterson took that as a shot at him.
Well,
and I'm not sure it was.
I don't think it was. I think he was more so saying, hey, Kansas. Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't, right? Because he's on Kansas. But Kansas was, 14th in the nation. They beat the team that was, 2 or 3 in Houston. So I think Kelvin Sampson is saying, we don't really know what Kansas team is going to show up. Is the is the number 14 team in the nation going to show up, or is a possible number 1 team in the nation going to show up? And that is connected to whether Darren Peterson is playing 2 halves or 1. So Darren Peterson, he's probably on defense mode right now. We talked about being antisocial or a loner or something that he talked about. So he's in defense mode right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he is who he is. What are we doing?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if I'm involved in selecting these players, which I'm not as of yet, but I'm available. But if I am, all of a sudden I've got an opportunity here to see how he responds to all this. A lot of it is just nonsense.
Yeah.
But as you know, pro athletes, they have to deal with a lot of noise and a lot of nonsense. So how is he going to respond to this now? I'm interested to see.
Right. And it can build him. That's one thing. We know Boozer because of his this is how it all broke down to me, Whitey. We knew Cam Boozer because of his pops, obviously. He's got the twin. We've seen them for the last couple years here do their thing, Team USA, all of that. AJ DeBonsa, right? Really kind of unique name and made a name for himself signing to BYU. Darren Peterson is the guy that we, at least me personally, I don't know a lot about. So heading into the draft, I want to learn more about him. The first thing that I know about him and others know about him is this whole situation with him sitting games or not healthy, whatever it is. So he has got the most, I think, to gain from this situation because he's put himself in a specific spot. So we can pay attention more so. We know who AJ DeBonsa has been. We know who Cam Boozer has been. He's the guy that is a bit of a wild card.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, Darren Peterson's on a hot streak. 2 straight games now with an assist.
1.
Yes.
1.
Yeah.
Because
2 straight games.
Some of that, too.
After going 2 straight games without an assist.
This is why some people don't like college basketball, though, because it's a ton of perimeter passing. There's not a lot of paint touches in basketball. It's not a lot of guys. Mike Brown could never coach. He could never coach college because no one's touching the paint. There's not a lot of sprays. It's pass around, pass around.
Night when everything sprayed on Russ.
Yeah.
Mike Brown would love that.
Yeah, he would.
Spray 3.
Well, Russ is going to take them, but there's not a lot of spray threes in general, and I don't think that's the type of player Darren Peterson is. It's just a lot of pass around the perimeter. Now the shot clock's at 10, so now we will see what we can do.
Do you agree with this, based on what we've heard from listeners and seen on social media from Kings fans? I could be wrong. I don't think I am. I think Kings fans, by and large, 1, would love to have DeBonsa. 2, little bit split on Peterson. Some fans still love him. Others like, I don't want any part of him. Mm-hmm. I think vast majority of local fans would be underwhelmed if it's Boozer and would feel disappointed.
I think so.
I'm not saying that's right, but I think that's how people feel.
I don't know. I don't think so because you have the 5th pick staring you in the face. If the Kings get 3, I don't know that there are enough fans that would, especially with him not playing, I don't know if there are enough fans that would say, no, you should have got Caleb Wilson. I think what it would be is, okay, you got Cam Boozer. You either have to make sure that you get a top 2 pick in 2027, or you go out and you start to have a conversation about Keegan for, I don't know, give me a name that might be a dude, right? Trey Murphy or somebody like that to pair with Boozer. I think that would be the conversation. I don't think Kings fans would be upset that they didn't get the first 2 picks. I don't think they would be upset with the pick of Cam Boozer.
I think a lot of fans would rather have Caleb Wilson than Cam Boozer around here.
You're probably right.
Yeah, and part of that, too, is, the backup quarterback. Caleb Wilson's not playing right now, so it's like, although, again, Boozer's he's right there every game.
Yeah.
It's almost like, and he's not the same type of player as DeMar at all, but they're similar in that what you get from them, you get the same thing, and then there's, now and then you get a lot more than that. But the floor is very, very consistent.
I think you would have a group that, were really in the weeds and just like the highlights, as you've said. The last time we saw Caleb was against Duke, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a great game. So there would be individuals that felt like that, but I don't know, Whitey. I think there would just be a lot of people excited that you got the 3rd pick and you were able to get Cam Boozer.
Yeah, if they get a top 3 pick, they're in business.
Yes, sir.
In business.
Yes, sir.
If they don't,
especially now,
all that tank talk could make it tough, especially if you can't get back into the lottery next year. But we don't even know any of that yet. What we do know is this. March 7th at the venue at Thunder Valley is Thunder Showdown 4. And Showtime Frank Espinoza scheduled to fight. He is going to join us. Drive Guys next on Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown, 49ers!
Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Truck Month?
Get the new Ram you want at the most affordable price I've seen in years. You can lease a new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie for as low as $399 a month for 39 months. That's $13,000 off MSRP on a brand new 2026 Ram truck.
Whoa, $399 a month? That feels like it can't be real.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how we've been able to find all this savings. As a fifth-generation family-owned dealer, our goal has always been, and continues to be, to serve our customers and save them as much as possible.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$13,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie after $5,000 factory rebate and $7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $2,000 select inventory cash on select inventory, $399 special lease with $29.95 due at signing plus tax, license fees, and dealer accessories. Must finance through Stellantis. 7,500 miles per year, 30 cents per mile over for well-qualified buyers with 720 plus FICO score. Sample VIN 179105. MSRP 68,125. See dealer for details.
At InShape, we have a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, the after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, bodybuilder, walker, runner, swimmer, spinner, stretcher, rower, climber, jumper, dancer, boxer, sauna seeker, recoverer. Basically, if you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong at InShape. So whether it's your first time or your first time in a while, start the year strong and join today at InShape.com. Find a location nearest to you.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Get ready, Sacramento. The Sacramento Boat Show and Big RV Show is taking over Cal Expo, March 5th through March 8th. It's 2 huge shows, one massive event. Don't miss it. Get details now at 2hugeshows.com.
Jackson Hewitt handles your taxes and your stress. Inhale on no surprise price of $149 or less. Exhale, paying more for complicated taxes. You won't. Inhale, new tax law knowledge. Exhale, missing out on your biggest refund? Certainly not. Don't miss paying $149 or less. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Logan Fury did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he bought a mini treadmill. Is walking on it during video conference calls more distracting than he thought? Yes. And is that because he overestimated his foot-eye coordination? Definitely. But it's Logan's savings, and if he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
We're getting ready to check in with Frank Espinoza. He's going to be part of Thunder Showdown 4 at the venue at Thunder Valley. And I know you've attended past Thunder Showdowns, right, Alan?
I have.
Did you fight? Did you
participate? No. I wasn't there. I was with former co-worker our guy Nate Littlefield.
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the day. Nate and I went, and it was a really fun time. My first time seeing live boxing at all, and I was excited to check it out. And I might try to sneak to this one if I can, get an okay from the boss, the real boss.
I give you credit. You're really upfront about that. Some guys like, oh, do you have to ask your wife? No. That's not what it is at all. I'll do what I want.
I mean, I just would feel, we got two, not under two. One is 2 and one is 5 months. I would just feel bad.
Yeah.
I could just, be that guy. I do what I want, but I legitimately, I'm out here watching boxing and, she's in a fight of her life for herself.
But I know it works both ways because she was just back east,
Yeah.
right? So
I'm still milking that, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm still milking that. Hey, I gotta go out with the digital boys. Last week it was really tough. Remember I sent you those videos? It was really tough. Just want to remind you. I'm still milking it.
Well, that's when you know that it's getting close to expiring if you have to bring it up.
Yes.
If you say, hey, I could do something, and she says, oh, yes, because I was just there, then you're golden.
Right.
But if you have to go, hey.
Remember that?
Yeah. Then,
but you know what? We get to March. My birthday's end of March. So then we just lead right into early birthday gifts.
Yeah.
So now I'll be okay now.
What date is your birthday?
First day of spring, baby.
Oh.
March 21st.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, you can. Oh, you already gave me my gift.
I
Jean
did.
Salon rookie card. Man, when I'm at the boathouse, you can come on by, Whitey.
There've been a lot of tussles in the NBA lately too. It's
There
gotten
have.
very physical.
There have. Scottie Pippen Jr., that was obviously the game before this game. He wasn't messing around. He got pushed in the back. Yeah, I think guys are just fed up. Guys are playing for no reason. There's tanking going on.
Officials are letting it go, too.
Yeah, everybody, this is
They're
a
almost
very...
encouraging the physical play.
Will we look back on this season as one of the... a memorable NBA season because of the tanking, because just a lot of random stuff that has happened?
I think it's going to depend on how it ends up,
The draft, obviously, connected to it.
When I think of any past year, whatever year it is, one of the first things I think of is who won.
Mm-hmm.
Even last year, it's like, oh, that was Oklahoma City. But I'm a little surprised that the NBA is allowing as much physicality as they are. And I get it. Certain fans, especially people who've been fans for a long time, they like it. That's fine. They like to see really physical play. I understand that. I'm just saying, given that players being hurt, missing games is an issue for the league, I'm surprised that they're letting them wail away on each other. Did you see last night? The Pistons got, understandably, very physical with Wemby.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody came up from behind him and just gave him, like an elbow to the small of the back when he didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I get it. Basketball-wise, yeah. But if I'm the NBA, I'm going, we can't have that.
What are you going to do? Just call them flagrant twos?
Do what the NFL did. Make it illegal to tackle quarterbacks. That type of thing.
That almost a Wemby rule. And you know what it is? This is the first guy that has made these guys feel small, maybe in their whole careers. So there's going to be some acting out, and there might have to be there were Shaq rules. There might have to be some Wemby rules as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not saying that they should protect him and rules should be different. I'm just a little surprised that they're allowing the play to be as physical as it is. I know you and I both watched some of the Clippers and the Magic Sunday night in L.A., although the announcer kept saying, this afternoon. It's like, dude, it's dark outside.
Yeah,
but anyway,
right.
They were just wailing away on each other.
Hey,
and
man.
players realize, we can do that tonight? Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to do it some more.
Well, there's a lot of people going back and forth on who is what Olympic sport was better, basketball or hockey. Obviously, a lot of people that are listening to this show are going to say it was basketball, but maybe hockey got people feeling some type of way. Hey, if they can wail on each other, we want to do that too.
I'm just getting that way.
Can't find us all, Adam.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest surprises to me because a few years ago, guys like Embiid were scoring 70, and the league decided to do something about that. Most leagues typically want to encourage scoring. Anyway, Thunder Showdown 4 happens March 7th. The venue at Thunder Valley features a 10-match card, including our next guest. Now, he was top-ranked amateur boxer in the USA, two-time national champion, and a Gold Glove champ. He is now 2-0 as a pro from Sacramento, Frank Espinoza. How are you today, Frank?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
We're doing fine. Thanks so much for your time. Do we have an opponent for you yet for Thunder Showdown 4?
Yes. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, who's that? Who we taking on, and how you gonna beat him?
I don't know his name. I just know I got a opponent.
That's good. Yeah, Priest Johnson. DePriest Johnson.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
Oh,
DePriest
yeah.
Frank, let's start here. How does it feel to represent the 916 every time you step into that ring? Obviously, the first time you did it, you had those butterflies. You probably don't get them anymore. But how does it feel to represent the city of trees every time you step into that ring?
It feels good. You know what I mean? It's home, so it feels great.
Mm-hmm. How tricky did it get at the last minute finding an opponent for you in your first pro fight? You know, as you said, they're having some. Took some time to find an opponent for Thunder Showdown 4. Wasn't there a lot of confusion about who you were going to end up fighting in your first pro fight, and it kind of came down to the last minute?
Yeah, it was like crazy. It was a crazy story. So it was like I had a fighter at 160. The day before weigh-ins, he pulled out. They found me another fighter at he was supposed to come in at 174 pounds. Dude came in 10 pounds over. So he came in at 184, and I had to go up weight. They let us weigh in the day of the fight. It was just a big, crazy thing. But, I mean, we ended up getting the fight going, and I did my thing.
Yeah, he did his thing, Alan. That means he took him out, Alan.
That's right. Frank Showtime Espinoza. Frank, throughout your career, obviously it's a young career, but what type of tweaks have you made to some of your training in between fights as you've kind of risen up the ranks? Some things that maybe you used to do and don't do anymore, some things that maybe from your first time putting on the gloves, you thought, I'm always going to do this. Any superstitions that you have in your training that you always get back to regardless of the opponent?
We always go back to the fundamentals. You know what I mean? We learn from our next opponent, and we see how we're gonna fight them or what things we have to work on, and that's what we do. You know what I mean? Defense is mandatory, so we always got to work on our defense.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing I haven't done or something that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep doing this now. Everything's gonna be different opponent. So.
Hey, Frank, you, as Kev Whitey talked about, two-time national champion, the Gold Gloves winner, man, a lot of people don't understand what goes into that. As you know, this isn't just something that flipped overnight, man. Explain the amateur status compared to now you being professional and some of the things that are completely different and if not the same for you.
Yeah, no, amateurs was it's a lot different. You know what I mean? You weigh in and then you fight the same day. So going to the pros, you have a whole day to rest and recover and get that energy back. And then going to those national tournaments where you keep winning, you're fighting the whole week. So you're not getting no rest, you know what I mean? And you got to keep losing the weight. You got to keep maintaining that weight. And, yeah, it's I would say it's a lot harder for the amateur to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, Frank, and again, Frank Espinoza with us, Thunder Showdown 4, March 7th at the venue at Thunder Valley. I'm assuming when you're in training for a fight, that there's certain things that you don't get to eat. What is your favorite thing? You win a fight, you're out of training, you celebrate with something maybe that you haven't been able to eat while you've been in training. What is your go-to in that situation?
Usually after I go to like Olive Garden or something and get like some pasta with chicken and shrimp. Yeah. But after the fight, you know, we eat everything.
Yes.
Frank, I don't even know if you can put this into words, but getting back to that first fight, everything that goes down when you're gaining that weight so fast, you get into the ring, Frank, am I reading this correctly? You knock him out within 26 seconds. Can you describe that feeling? I mean, I've been in a scrap or two. If somebody talks disrespectful, I got to do what I got to do, Frank. But it was not it was not 26 seconds. Can you just try to explain to us how it feels when somebody clearly is not on your level and you think all the training, everything that you have worked for, you put it together, and 26 seconds, that boy gone? Yeah.
You know, my coach, we seen him in the at the weigh-ins, and coach told him, he was like, take him out. He don't belong in there with you. So that's what I did.
Got to do it, Whitey.
That's what you did too,
That's
right?
what I did. It was more than 26. But we got it done, Frank. Showtime, baby.
Hey, Frank, a.k.a. Knuckles, Frank Espinoza, rocking and rolling, be fighting here coming up in a couple weekends out there at the venue of Thunder Valley, March 7th, Thunder Showdown Part 4. Frank, one of the things I always find super interesting is fighting at home, and Alan kind of spoke about, representing the 916, but, I've been to the Thunder Showdown. I've been to multiple boxing events, 10, 20, 50 at this point, it feels like. And one of the things that always gets me amplified is when people are fighting close to their house and they have friends and family that are really rocking for them. And it gets crazy in there. Do you hear that? Or do you, because most fighters or most athletes going to say, oh, you gauge all of that out of there. But do you hear your fans, your family, your parents, your brother, your sister, cheer you on?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The first fight that I had at the DoubleTree, it was packed out. I had a lot of family and friends there. So when I walked in, it felt good, like knowing that everybody from the 916 was out there.
Yeah. Well, Frank, we like to think of ourselves as your friends now, too. In fact, and I know people can't see me if they're not on YouTube. I mean, you ever need a sparring partner? I know this is pretty intimidating, but, you let us know. Alan, Jay, we're all available. If you, in a pinch, you want to throw some punches, you just let us know. All right, brother? We're there for you.
It's all good.
All right. Good luck. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it, Frank.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we're going to give you a chance now. I think he was a little intimidated by that.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he was shaking in his boots.
Now, who did you get in a fight with?
It's a long story. But basically, this dude kept on calling me 5'9".
We got time.
It's a long story.
Is this the only scrapper or the multiple?
I'll tell you on the other side. Man.
Okay. I want to give you a chance on this side to win a pair of tickets to Thunder Showdown 4 at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, March 7th. For more info and tickets, thundervalleyresort.com. So right now, caller number what, Alan?
Caller number 3.
Caller 3 at 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We got some tickets for you. We're going to hear more about Alan's fight exploits when we come back, and the Kings' quick fix. Is it back in play now? That more when we return to Sactown Sports.
Visit SactownSports.com and join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All Americans should do what they can to prepare for the future. Donald Trump Jr. here with an important message. More and more Americans are looking for ways to diversify their hard-earned money, and gold is the perfect solution. For example, a gold IRA from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group lets you diversify your IRA or 401k into physical gold with zero taxes and zero penalties. You stay in control with a tangible asset that's held value for thousands of years. And right now, Birch Gold is offering a free info kit to help you understand how it works. Just text the word SECURE, SECURE, to 989898. There's no pressure, no obligation, just the facts. You can't predict the future, but you can be prepared, but only if you educate yourself. So take that first step right now. Text SECURE to the number 989898 today. That's SECURE to 989898.
Business moves fast, and so do we. At Bank of Marin, we team up with businesses in the greater Sacramento area to help you drive the lane and score big. With dedicated relationship bankers and local decision-making, we help you move quickly, whether you're upgrading equipment, buying your next building, streamlining cash flow, or fueling growth. From expansion to investment, we're ready to help you win. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated. And with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Based on some reporting, the Kings quick fix, I know Alan calls it a hybrid rebuild, may be back on the board. If it's not, there's a possibility it will be soon. Before we get to that, I have to share this with you. We appreciate Frank Espinoza's time, so we just talked to Frank Espinoza, and then we go to break. We gave away some tickets. Hopefully you had a chance to grab those. If not, we'll have more to give away the rest of the week. Then we go to commercial. And so Alan, my partner Alan, I love Alan. I've known Alan a long time. I'm thrilled to work with him. He goes, Whitey, are you ready for this? And he grabs his laptop. And I think, oh, we got some breaking news or something. And he turns it around to show me, and I'm thinking, what's going on? Is it the Kawhi news? Has something happened with the Kings? Is another Kings player out for the season? And then he shows me like video of him playing basketball from, what is it, 2019? 2019. Jay, what is going on? What? And I mean, he was like excited.
What was it about? Did he touch rim for the first time?
No, it was just a highlight tape I had.
Yeah.
I'm in LA. I'm running fives in LA, running the court. And I had to show Whitey just what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I'm glad he did, but it was just so weird. Like, oh, are you ready? Are you ready? It's like, whoa, what's going on? That's you. What? There's palm trees. Where are you? Yeah, I was in L.A.
Yeah, I was in
Who
LA.
Who took this? Oh, my wife took this.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, brother.
What?
Al Bundy style. He's Al Bundy now. He's the Al Bundy of the show.
I had to show you what it was. CJ, you can see right through.
No, I can see it.
You took that one shot, and you looked like somebody flicking a bug off your shirt.
I got a quick trigger.
Like,
it's a quick trigger, you know.
Where were you at in La La Land?
It wasn't, it was those main courts. It just wasn't, I'm not going to say it was prime time, but it was right by Muscle Beach in Venice.
You're at Venice.
So they have somebody out there with a microphone?
I think that was later. I got the early run in with some lesser competition. So
you got the pre-brunch run?
Yeah. I'm not trying to be there when the real ballers show up. That's not good for the highlight
You're the
tape.
Muscle Beach G League.
That's right.
That's what you were in.
That literally.
Yeah.
And I got my tape in. Whitey, you saw the stroke.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm getting to the cup.
Did he hit a few shots?
Yeah, and the video he did, he didn't miss any.
I didn't miss any. That's highlight
it's like
tape.
There's like 8 or 9 different games in there. It must have taken a long time to compile all
I
that
had to
video.
show you, the midi, the long range, me getting to the rack.
The thing that stood out, Jay, is he's a left-handed player from the right side of the basket, still shooting that layup with the left hand.
Look, but this is what I talk about. If this was a Sunday at my local YMCA, I'm going righty. But Venice Beach, highlight tape.
It was
the G League, but I can't be smoking layups.
It was the brunch
No,
round.
Whitey, it was great, man. I had no shirt on.
No, look good. I noticed that
Popcorn
too.
cost $6.25.
I was glistening. There was a crowd.
I noticed you had the ball quite a bit.
They needed me.
Let's keep it automatically as a point guard.
That's right.
Kenny Anderson.
Yeah. They needed me, guys.
And then you made a shot. One of the guys came over and hey,
I'm like, man, this guy's killing it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I'm getting out of here at 12.
So what happened? You pieced it all together? Or
I pieced it all together just to have. To show Whitey, to show my children. I got a baseball one, too. That's next break.
Okay.
You got huddle film for no recruitment?
I got some tape.
Is that set to music?
No music. But that's a good idea.
Yes.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely.
CJ, Whitey gets it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's the guy. Jay's the guy.
Did you was that vacation?
It was vacation.
Okay.
Yeah, it was vacation, and we were just, we were staying in Venice. So
Oh,
I
okay.
said, hey, I got to get out here in these streets. You never know when we'll get back, and we never got back.
Jay, Randy Newman? He did I Love L.A. That's Randy Newman.
yeah.
I just say sing it.
I think he did a song that would be great for that. He did a song called Short People.
Whoa. That's not a real song.
It is.
Is it real?
We played it for you.
Yeah.
We played it Short
That can't
People
fly
by
these
Randy
days.
Newman.
That cannot fly these days. But you know what? That connects back to, we were talking to Frank Espinoza.
Yeah.
And that connects back because what had happened was we got into it. I was at Temple, right?
Oh, okay.
We got into it.
this is when you got in a scrap.
That's right. So we got into it. One of our teammates, he went to a party. I guess they were club hockey. It was a club hockey team. He goes over, he's at a party. Apparently who he was talking to, this young lady was taken. He did not know that at the time. He found out. And we're all hanging out at the house. He comes in and his shirt is all ripped up.
Uh-oh.
Right? It's a Friday night. We were about to go out. We haven't gone out yet. So he comes over, shirt's all ripped up.
Uh-oh.
And whoa, man, what happened? He goes, this is what happened. So we said, well, we got to mount up. So we all head over to this house. And now there's a big group outside the house. And they come down and they say, hey, man, this is our party. Y'all can't be coming in here. And I'm thinking, hey, we're just trying to clear everything up. And there's a dude next to me. He goes about 6'1", 6'2". Right? And there's a dude next to me. Apparently he was staying at the house. I think it was a fraternity, something like that. And he goes, what's your problem, 5'9"? Now, little did he know he was actually giving me a compliment, but I had to pretend like I was upset. So I'm saying, who are you talking to?
Uh-huh.
He goes, I'm talking to you, 5'9". So I had to get, on level playing field. He said it one more time. Whitey got him on the ground. Had to see, had to take care of business. So everybody
You
is.
give him the 3-piece extra
I
crispy?
gave him the 3-piece extra crispy as I'm walking away, because now I'm delirious. I'm yelling, that's why you don't mess with Oakland. That's why you don't mess with Oakland. Meanwhile, everybody that knows me knows I'm not actually from Oakland.
I was going to say.
I'm from 20 minutes out of Oakland. But in that moment, I said, that's why you don't mess with Oakland. And on the way out, because, we couldn't get in trouble. We got scholarships a lot on the line. So on the way out, I say, that's why you don't mess with the Temple hockey team. That's what I thought. I got it confused. That's why you don't mess with the Temple hockey team. That's what's up. And somebody yells back, we know you play baseball. We know. So we thought we were going to get suspended or whatever. Nothing ever, because they knew not to mess with me. That's right. What's up with you, 5'9"? I'm like, I know you're not talking to me like that. That's disrespectful. So he's
a dog.
Thank you. That is the main. I've been in a couple scraps, but I took down a 6'1". He was scrawny, but I got a 6'1" on my belt.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Stripes on the shoulder.
That's right. With the stripes on the black belt. What's up with you, 5'9"? I'm thinking, I know you're not talking to me. I'm not even a part of this, I had to show him what Oakland was about.
So you brought him down and rained blows upon him?
That's right.
Okay.
I had to get him down.
Or was it just kind of a wrestling scenario?
No, we don't get into detail. But like we said, 2-piece extra thighs.
Okay.
That's what it was.
A minute ago it was a 3-piece extra crispy. Now it's
2.5.
Okay.
2 clean ones.
Well, I'm just glad you're okay.
No, I was never going to be a problem.
I'm surprised
It was that kids meal, that tender meal.
The chicken tender.
Gave him that kids meal, that 2-piece of the biscuit.
It was a mashed potato side, no gravy.
No gravy, apple juice. And then I got
Apple
up out of
slices.
there. I got up out of there, man. You don't mess with the Temple hockey team. Yeah.
Just glad you're okay. I'm surprised you don't have video of that.
I wish I did. I wish I did. We'll find the archives.
Question becomes now, what if somebody was recording that like you were recording somebody fishing?
But that's different, though. That's respect.
Which nowadays that it would be.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have been that long ago, so I'm surprised it wasn't.
2013. I wish they would have recorded it. I would be showing that to everybody.
I don't doubt that at all. I don't doubt that at all. Mark Stein on Substack. Maybe you saw this today. It is not seen as a certainty, according to one source briefed on the process, that the Kings will try again in the offseason to trade Domantas Sabonis after fielding in-season trade offers for the former All-Star big man. It is not seen as a certainty. There are scenarios, I'm told, says Mark Stein, that would steer Sacramento toward keeping Sabonis, who has 2 seasons left on his contract after this one, that depend on how the Kings fare in May's draft lottery and whom they are able to select in a draft headlined by Peterson, DeBonsa, and Cameron Boozer. You call it the hybrid rebuild. I call it the quick fix rebuild. It sounds like, according to these sources, that's something that is definitely still on the board for the Kings.
Yeah. And the question becomes, is it more likely if they get a top 3 pick or if they go 4 or 5? Because we've gone back and forth on this. Personally, I think if you get a top 3 pick, you're more likely to keep Sabonis. That's how I felt about it. If you go 4 or 5, hey, this ain't going to be ready, right? 4 or 5, it ain't going to be ready next year. We don't even see a 7, 8 seed. So let's go ahead and move Sabonis for the draft picks. However you can do that, we're not sure how you're going to be able to do that at that time.
Yeah, not to be redundant. I know we've talked about this. I would think one of these scenarios has to hinge on what happens with the lottery reform.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's basically a matter of you ain't going to be back in the lottery next year no matter what you do, then you have to think, all right, well, then do we have the wherewithal, if we get a really good pick, to climb back into some semblance of relevance next year?
Yeah.
We may be running out of options. It's possible that the whole plan here, 3 to 5 years maybe, to rebuild this thing, if they change the lottery format and the draft format, that might not be an option anymore.
No.
Change your total plan going forward.
Let's play with the idea of you can't have consecutive years at 1 through 4. So let's say the Kings get 1 through 4, and now you have to make a decision because you know you're going to get 5 at best in a really bad draft, right? I don't even know if that draft is going to be 4 guys deep based on how they're talking about it. So you know the best you can do is 5. Now, at that point, do you dig deeper or do you say, all right, because I guess you could trade Sabonis and try to get more draft picks, or do you say, well, let's see how this season goes? I think either way, based on the reform, this is now a wait and see, and it could affect based on how these rules come out. If they say you are not going to have a top 4 pick next season, I think that makes them more likely to hold on to Sabonis, right?
Yeah, I think so. Now, if they change the rules such that it makes no sense for the Kings to tank, I understand tanking makes sense. But if the rules are changed to the point where it's not really an option, I know it would be inherently unfair. But just as a fan, I think I'd be okay with that. I'm having a hard time imagining 2 or 3 more years of this. I get it, but I don't want to go through that, Alan.
Are you starting to come to the hybrid side?
Only if you're forced into it. Mm-hmm. If you have an option still of tanking long-term and you decide, nah, we're scrapping that, that probably doesn't make sense. But I don't want to go through 2, 3+ years like what Detroit went through. And I know they got through it and they ended up in a good spot. I don't want to do that.
Yeah. The main question here is how many rules are they going to implement? Are they going to say no more protections on picks when you trade them and you can't be 1 through 4? Is it just going to be the 1 through 4 thing? Is it just going to be the protections thing? What is it?
Yeah.
And how many things
Great
are
question.
they going to try to implement?
Yeah, I know. And I'm just hoping it's not going to be one of those things where, you can't really explain it to someone because it's so convoluted. I think those are bad for the league. I hope whatever it is, it's kind of clean. I think they should just leave it the way it is, but it sounds like they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Maybe if they are trying to distract people from something else, maybe at some point they will decide they'll just do a little tweak here or there. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like they mean business.
Yeah, I could see this conversation being flipped, and I could see it turning into a situation where more teams on the outside are looking at that hybrid rebuild, just like what the Wizards just did and the Jazz as well. And they could say, hey, we're going to go get Sabonis because our like the Nets, for example, our stink has to end because there's nothing, we can't do much else, right? The Hornets, go get you a DeMontis Sabonis. And then because it's not a great draft, you just take multiple bites at the apple, and all of a sudden, let's say the Kings have 2 picks in the lottery of 2027, something like that. And even though it's not supposed to be a good draft, I would still look to do that, even though I've been Mr. Hybrid Rebuild and it's not supposed to be a good draft. I would say, hey, if you're able to get 2027 and a 2029 for Domantas Sabonis because nobody cares about the 2027 picks, and now you have 2 picks in the lottery next season, or 1, which is your own, and the other is 14 or 15, I'd probably still take a chance and do that versus my hybrid rebuild. If I can get, I think whenever people, because there are some hits, right? We compared it to 2024. There were some hits in there, not a ton, but you get a couple options there.
Sorry, I just checked Tankathon here, and one of my favorites shows up here in a King slot. I was just checking to see who Tankathon has for the Kings in the second round, because they have, as of right now, they have 41 and 31. 31, this doesn't make sense because they already are well-stocked at this position, but I gasped audibly when I saw 31, Sacramento, Flory Badunga.
Wow. Is he, correct me if I'm wrong, is that redundant with your boy,
yeah,
Dylan
definitely.
Cardwell?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
But I just, yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't
I'm just double checking.
Because especially if you're keeping Domas.
And Maxime?
Yeah.
That's too many.
Yeah, unless you figure he could play at the 4. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but I just love him. So, yeah, the question is how much better could the Kings be next year just from their draft picks? That's why I was checking the second rounders. You'd have pick 1 through 5, somebody in there, also pick 31 and pick 41. We don't know who it's going to be, but reasonably, how much better could this Kings team be next year? If it's like, all right, the rebuild is no longer in the plans. The league is making it so that we can't do that. How much better could they be next year with a top pick and a couple other picks?
I think it connects to the vets, right? Based on this and who you get, does that affect if you hold on to DeMar DeRozan? You still have that contract if you want.
Yeah.
I don't know because you're still playing for the future. So to me, I would still look to, because you were never going to get great value back for DeMar. You have Zach LaVine, even whether he likes it or not.
I honestly forgot about it.
Yeah. You're going to take that $49 million and you're going to like it.
Yeah.
I think you have Zach LaVine, depending on who you get. I don't know about the Westbrook convo. I can't have that right now. But you need some type of point guard.
DeAndre Hunter.
And DeAndre Hunter.
Domantas Sabonis.
I mean, I think they're a spicy 8 seed, but you're doing it via play-in. It's literally a better version of what we thought could happen this season.
Mm-hmm.
You have Keegan Murray, who, based on gameplay alone, will not be any better than he was this season because he has not played. So you're not getting necessarily a better version of Keegan. You're, I don't know, getting a less involved version of Zach LaVine. You are getting 2 young guys at least, and another year of Nique and Maxime. Yeah, I don't know. Let me ask you this. Who do you believe in more? Because I'm trying to think of the bottom of the West, right? We don't know what the Jazz are going to look like, but are they better than if the Jazz is the 8 or 9 or 10?
It depends on who they get, too.
Yeah. Are they better than the Jazz? No. Are they better than the Blazers? No.
Probably not. Again, depending on who gets who and how that all comes out in the wash, yeah.
Are they better than the Suns? They don't have a pick.
I would think that if next year, if your hand is forced and you have to go to to use Alan's term, the hybrid rebuilds, like the other plan is not an option. I would think you have to move off of Zach. It's like, there's too much baggage there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how all right, we'll figure it out. Oh, yeah, come on, Zach. You'll help us win now. Here we go.
What are you saying after this? What are you saying? He opts in and then you just try to trade him?
I just don't see how it's going to work. Yeah, one way or the other. I mean, it's just a dead end, I think.
If you trade Zach.
I know that's tricky. I don't know that it's easy to do, but I just don't think it helps you or him.
Well, number one, if these tank rules, again, same conversation with Sabonis, if these tank rules come out and they really affect people, Zach LaVine could be a bigger help to teams. He's already an expiring contract, but he could be a bigger help to teams that, well, might as well try to sneak into the playoffs because, the tank thing isn't going to work. So I think that could help there. The other question would be, if you do move on from Zach, are you more likely to keep DeMar DeRozan? Because you can't have both, but maybe if you keep DeMar, we've seen DeMar change his game. So I feel fairly confident saying you can control, or not control, but you can talk to DeMar and have conversations about him picking his spots. So I don't know that I would necessarily mind keeping DeMar if you move on from Levine, but you can't have both.
Yeah, what a mess, right? I mean, what a mess. This roster's still such a mess.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. You're forgetting guys that are on the team.
I know. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Trust me, he wishes he was out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
And out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
But 49, he can be. 49 million reasons not to be, though.
As far as last night's win, okay, great. A feel-good win for the short term, but you still got to be real careful. And I'll tell you what, Alan, one of the lessons to me from last night is you look at the way Memphis played last night and the team they had out there on the court. Down the stretch of this season, the tanking around the league is going to get even more intense.
Yeah.
Teams are going to be tanking as hard as they can. And if the league says, we will fine you, a lot of these teams, if not all of them, will say, that's fine.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. They are preparing.
We have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. They are preparing for what's next. And basically they're saying to themselves, hey, when we get to next season, we'll get to next season. But until then, and by the way, Jazz, Vince Williams Jr., season-ending torn left ACL. Now that one, torn ACL, you're going to be out for the season. So the Jazz.
It was Tari Eason, right?
Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up because Tari Eason's getting roasted for what a lot of people are saying was a dirty play. Did you happen to see it?
I did not.
Okay. There was a fast break. And Vince Williams was kind of trailing. And Tari Eason looked like he kind of threw him a little chicken wing or something. And Vince Williams went down funny. And you could see it was one of those things that
the wiggle
you want to look at.
Yeah.
And then Tari Eason scored after the game. Keontae George was covering his mouth. And he was telling Tari Eason, you could tell he was telling him what happened. And Tari Eason was like, he put his hands on his head. He had no idea. So to me, it was a rough play. It wasn't that he undercut somebody. He shouldn't have done it, but to me it wasn't an overtly dirty play, and I hope he doesn't get roasted for that. It was ill-advised, but I thought it was just kind of a physical play, and he happened to hit a guy in stride at just the wrong angle, and again.
No, that's a freak accident. I'm watching it now. They do that type of stuff all the time. I mean, Tari is a very.
He did give him a little shoulder or something.
No, he did.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, I think especially the Rockets.
I hate dirty plays, but when I saw that, my reaction was not that was a dirty play.
No, there's nobody in the air or anything like that. He's a physical player. We know that. We wanted him in Sacramento when we thought there was still going to be an opportunity for them to do something. But, yeah.
So we agree on that.
That's not dirty to me.
Yeah. And then, honestly, you could see his genuine reaction after the game. He was very upset that he had injured Williams in that fashion. Sacramento right now, 13-46. Indiana, 2.5 games better than that. Indiana is highly motivated to tank because, remember, that pick is only protected, 1 through 4? Yeah, so and next year they think they have a chance to be really good, better than last year if Halliburton comes back. Halliburton, by the way, has shingles.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Not fun.
No.
Not fun. Yeah, it is very sensitive. Very sensitive on the skin and it's just weird.
I never had chicken pox when I was a kid.
Oh.
So I got it from my kids
when
I was in my 30s. And I've had cancer. Chicken pox was worse. It was terrible. And after a few days, I went to the doctor. The doctor said, we have pills now. Why didn't you come in sooner? They have antivirals. And then once I took that, I was on the road to recovery. But he's like, why didn't you come in sooner? We could have done something about it.
But do your kids have everyone's got the famous pictures with all the cream on all of, all the dots, the chicken pox dots?
Not every family documents everything visually.
Everyone's got a picture with their kids and the chicken pox dots. The kids still get chicken pox? Do I have to worry about that?
Now? Not like it used to be.
Okay. Because it was, it was coming of age back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like I lived in the 40s.
Well, no, I'm asking
and plus, this was when my kids were young.
That's why I'm asking.
I did not get it.
Thank you for being, so old.
I lived in the Wild West. I never got it.
I'm just asking a question. Do I have to, worry about that or not?
I think so.
Okay.
But I don't really know. Yeah.
She's in daycare now. Mr. Larry's going to say, hey, has anybody got dots? Because I'm just double checking.
Sacramento.
Hello, Larry.
Yeah. Sacramento 13-46. Indiana 15-43. Brooklyn 15-41. So they're 3.5 better than the Kings. And then New Orleans, that pick going to the Hawks, they're 3.5 games better. And then Washington, 4.5 games better. You just look at the streaks of these teams recently. Sacramento, of course, one of their last 10 they've won. They're 1-9. Indiana 3-7. Brooklyn 3-7. New Orleans 4-6. Washington 4-6. Utah 3-7. Dallas 1-9. Utah is coming.
Yes.
By that I mean going.
Yes.
Everything's upside down. These teams are going to be tanking hard, Allen. That's fine. You got a feel-good win, but let's not get carried away with talk of a winning streak.
Yeah.
Can't have it.
Nope. Can't do it, and I'm not even we're not gonna go through the schedule again until we get to March, which is around the corner.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be real. There are some people maybe panicking, but you should be safe. I know they always play the Rockets tough, but should be safe in Houston tomorrow. But you never know. Somebody said something about the Rockets. They said the Rockets are going to lose a playoff series by 6 games, and you're gonna look back and say they should have won 5 of those games. They have been tricking off in fourth quarter. So I'll tell you this much, Whitey, you don't know. Something is off in H-Town.
I wonder what it could be or who it could be.
I don't know.
Can fit be a factor when the Kings make their draft pick? We're all over that next on Sactown Sports.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com.
This is the sound of Lucy, staying on top of her spending. You see, even though she's buying a new pair of jeans, she knows that it fits within her monthly budget. Because Wells Fargo will send an alert if her balance drops below her set amount. Yep, nothing gets past Lucy, or Wells Fargo for that matter. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus an extra $100 off all mattresses. And Saturday, only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get ready, Sacramento. The Sacramento Boat Show and Big RV Show is taking over Cal Expo, March 5th through March 8th. Hundreds of boats and RVs, all in one place. From wakeboard boats and pontoon boats to motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers, sprinter vans, plus fishing boats and ATVs. It's 2 huge shows, 1 massive event. Don't miss it. Get details now at 2hugeshows.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need, anytime the motivation hits. So you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Take your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
This is the Randy Newman song. Short People was a huge hit. I
How
think
is
Randy
this
Newman himself
okay?
is actually, well, I don't think he's very tall himself.
He's short.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot I don't know if I can say or not.
People. Yeah. I think this would be a good, it'd kind of have kind of a tongue-in-cheek element. This would be a good song for your basketball video.
No. I don't.
I think Jay thinks that's a good idea.
I don't think so.
Okay.
This is supposed to be a swagged up video.
Oh, okay.
That is not a swagged up song.
All right.
I would never play a song like that.
It's pretty, I think it's like 1978 or something like that. So.
Why are we, what is it with the friendly fire? Why would we make a song like that?
Well, I didn't make a song.
I know you didn't.
He was talking about himself.
Yeah.
Do you know that they have tall people events? I just saw this on Instagram, and apparently it's infected Sacramento.
Tall people events?
Yes, where you have to be tall to go to. Now, the deeper story of it is I do believe it is mostly, from what I've read, it is for dating purposes.
That's what I would think.
Yes,
yeah.
for dating purposes.
Yeah.
If you are a man or a woman or whatever that, hey, I'm taller than all my friends and I feel like a sore thumb. But I've always thought about this because, first of all, I read something like that, my blood already starts boiling. But I've always thought about this. A club, if you're over 6 feet, you cannot enter the club. Because, I'm not in these streets anymore, but you'd be out.
Yeah.
And this is terrible. I mean, this is not. But so you make a club. If you can have tall people events, then I'm going to make a club in Sacramento where if you are 6 feet, you will not go in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Nique, Clifford. None of y'all basketball players are coming. This is for the short Kings. You get to enjoy yourself. Now, I don't know, if there would be a lot of people there, right?
Maybe.
To connect with.
Yeah.
But
maybe this is an underserved
yeah, because I hear horror stories. Obviously, I'm not in the online dating game, but you got to put your heights now on the apps. This is a nightmare. This is legitimately a nightmare.
Yeah.
So I need to do something. When Tijan Salon hits for $100 million, I'm gonna make that club.
The funniest thing to me, and I know I tease Alan about this, but I've known Alan I'd known him a couple years before we started working here, and I'd never thought of him as being short. It just never crossed my mind. But then once I started working with her here, he started talking about it.
I did not start talking about it.
And I was aware it was obviously an issie for him. No, I had never thought of it.
It's not an issue. I did not start talking about it. I did not start talking about it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do something. I'm just saying, the society, it's ruthless, man.
I guess.
I'm glad I'm out the game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think it makes you unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to make this unique club.
Mm-hmm.
Tall events. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? I don't care.
Yeah. I would think it would be about dating. I need to ask you guys something here before we get back to the Kings, and it's about whatever is or is not going on with Sacramento State and the economic impact report. Do I have this right? Is this the way you understand it? When they joined MAC, Sac State released some economic impact numbers. Then very recently, somebody who works for the company that came up with the numbers came out and said, those aren't my numbers. I don't know how they got that. Then the company itself, the firm that apparently that person worked for, they came out and said, no, we stand by our numbers.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I don't know. And at this point, they're in a situation now very similar to the Kings where they just want to get to the season. A lot of the Kings fans want to get to the end of the season. Sac State just wants to get on the field where, it's MAC at night or MAC Tuesdays, and they can say, look what we're doing. Because all this stuff I guess it doesn't really matter until they start to turn the keys and start to see some type of profits. That's going to quiet all this. And, the projections, people won't follow it as closely as maybe they are right now when there's nothing. I know basketball's going on, but they're not going to the MAC for
There's
basketball.
also locally, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a pushback on anybody that questions the numbers. You're a hater.
Yes.
It's like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, you know what this is, right? This is giving me kind of flashbacks to the A's thing. I mean, when the A's first decided they were going to come to Sacramento and, that announcement happened during the midday show, that was one of the most confusing days of radio in my life. And the whole gate with the attendance gate and all this, we're headed towards the same type of deal now with Sac State where, when this move happened, people that love everything about Sac State, they loved it. People that want to be haters, they seem to hate it. So, I don't know. There's not a ton of objective takes on this, possibly because we don't really know how it's going to look, Whitey. We don't know how Sac State and the projections and, if they're going to turn this thing into a winner and how everything is going to progress. So I think that's why everybody is choosing a lane, because it's hard to be objective, because objective just means that you're just waiting.
Russell Wright, CEO of Collegiate Consulting, told CBS Sports that the top line takeaway in the study is a mischaracterization of the study they provided to the school. I don't think that's right. That's not anywhere in our report, so I 100% question that, said Russell Wright, CEO of Collegiate Consulting. But then today, Collegiate Consulting comes out and says, no, we stand by our numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know where the truth is. I just know that is bizarre.
Is that Russell not being, I guess, up to speed on everything and getting caught in a conversation?
Yeah, I don't pretend to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. It sounds like maybe he got asked a question that he probably just should have said, I need to do more research, or just I need to double check with my team. Instead, he did not do that. And everybody is jumping on Sac State right now. The people that want to be negative about Sac State, they're jumping, they're pouncing on them.
And it's possible Sac State went to them and said, hey, we want our money back.
Yeah.
You're not helping.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
In which case they had to come out and say, oh, no, we stand by our numbers. You're right.
Right.
Jay, you have any idea what's going on?
No, I think I'm in the same boat as both of you guys. I would say this. I think a lot of it, and just to clarify, the CEO, Russell, of College Consulting was
Russell Wright.
Russell Wright.
Collegiate
He was
Consulting.
asked that in a CBS Sports, Richard Johnson, who was the journalist in that report. And so he responded via print. Richard Johnson, who I believe was on the midday show, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think he was on the midday show. Today,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, and I apologize, because to me, he's just the bridge. He's the person that wrote the article, but doesn't really have the answers. And so really, I think, Whitey, you're barking up the right tree. It's College Consulting. And not collegiate consulting, right?
Yes.
Collegiate Consulting.
Yeah.
It's I think they're the company that needs to have the conversation, and they're the ones that probably need to be under fire. And Alan, I think you're right. It's the CEO probably wasn't well versed in the situation, and a journalist picked up the phone and called, and probably needed to pipe down and gave out too much information. I think you're spot on, Alan, when it comes to this isn't a Sacramento, a Las Vegas, Salamander, Oakland Athletic situation with Sac State right now. And you're 1,000% right in the fact of if you're in a camp and you support it, you're rocking with it. Mm-hmm. If you see this as a bad move, going to the MAC and spending 20 plus million bucks, then you're all over it negatively. So at this point, I think it's a wait and see. As I said this I think last week, it's a TBD situation.
Yeah, I could see from the CEO's comments here, obviously things can look different in print than they actually sound. And I don't know what's going on, but he said, I don't think that's right. That's not anywhere in our report. You put that in print, and all of a sudden it looks like someone making a declaration. I don't think that's right. And he might have just been going, oh, I don't think that's right. I don't know.
Yeah, you just
but
can't
we need
say
some
that.
clarification.
Yeah,
bizarre.
What you say is, I'll have to double check that. You don't
Correct.
say, I don't think that's right.
Yeah. And then they've doubled down, and as you said, Whitey was like, yo, no, this is We'll stick to those numbers.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll
now someone tell your CEO.
But did he come out and say anything else?
No.
In that regard?
He has not.
He hasn't said anything since then. And again, like I said, when we first started talking about this, I thought he was somebody who did some of the numbers. But he's the CEO.
Right.
Yeah. So
he doesn't. That's like, I mean, there's so much going on in a CEO's world. Again, that's on him. He should have just done the PC thing and said, hey, I got to double check whatever.
Yeah.
But, this is, we got a CEO here. If you asked, hey, what'd you think about our transition in the first segment? They probably won't say, yeah, I don't think it was right, but I'll have to double check.
By the way, Alan, 2 up the middle here in the YouTube chat. Randy Newman has said that the song was a kind of anti-discrimination statement about judging others on outward appearance.
I saw that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I don't need it for my highlight tape, but I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Maybe when the credits roll, you transition into that.
Exactly.
I think we're good.
Make a statement.
No, that's not the statement.
Make
I'm
a
going
bold.
To make. B. Dites, Brandon Deitman said we got to call the club Shorties. We're not calling it Shorties. And don't laugh, Whitey. We got to think of a better name, B. Think of a better name. Muggsy Bo's Bar. Extra low for access. Now, I like that.
Hey, Shorty, it's your birthday.
But I'm going to get a lot of people in on this. Like I've told you before, I'm getting Kevin Hart, right? That's easy. I'm getting Tom Hanks.
How are people going to know the difference between you and Kevin
Hart?
Hopefully
they don't.
Okay.
Hopefully our wallets look similar too. There's a lot of I'm getting Usher. Like I'm getting a lot of these guys. They're all going to buy into this. Then they're going to be.
Can we get them at our lottery party?
Oh yes, of course. Then they're going to be all over the nation.
Okay.
This is easy work.
Yeah. Fit. Can the Kings afford to make it a factor when they make their draft pick? Back with that and more next on Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
At InShape, we have a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, the after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, bodybuilder, walker, runner, swimmer, spinner, stretcher, rower, climber, jumper, dancer, boxer, sauna seeker, recoverer. Basically, if you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong at InShape. So whether it's your first time or your first time in a while, start the year strong and join today at InShape.com. Find a location nearest to you.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Ram Truck Month?
If you've been looking for the right hard-to-find Ram heavy duty, Hoblet has it, and at the price that works for you. Right now, save up to $12,500 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 2500s and 3500s. Plus, with over 400 new Rams available, you're going to find what you need at Hoblet.
Heavy duty seemed to be a strong point for Hoblet.
Absolutely. We are the only dealer in the area full of truck people. One of the many reasons we are consistently one of the top Ram truck dealers in the nation, and one of the only certified Ram truck centers in the entire country. You won't find a better combination of service and affordability in California.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$12,500 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie after $3,500 factory rebates and $9,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $2,000 select inventory bonus cash on select inventory, $500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. 5 of the plus net savings. See dealer for details.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
Anybody remember what was memorable about the Kings game 3 years ago today? Anybody? 3 years ago today. Thank you to Frankie Cardicelli who posted this on X. I'd forgotten about this.
3 years ago.
3 years ago today. So 2020, Beam Team 2023 on this date.
Was this the
triple overtime?
Yeah.
Yes, double, right? Yeah.
Double, excuse me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was on this date against the Clippers. Kings 176, Clippers 175, Alan. How about that? In double overtime.
Hey, that was a legendary game. That's the one everyone says, Alan, when I first started working here, Alan, there's one game you're going to watch.
Uh-huh.
It's that Clippers game.
De'Aaron Fox had 42. Malik Monk had 45. Man.
The sky was the limit.
Yeah. And for the Clippers, Kawhi had 44. Ironic now that he's on his way to Sacramento, right?
Yeah. On a minimum deal.
Uh-huh. Russ had 17. 7 turnovers. So, yeah, it was on this date.
And now he's on the Kings.
Yeah. It seems like a lifetime ago, does it not?
Yeah.
3 years ago.
I thought it feels like he's further removed from the Clippers, to be honest with you.
It does. It does. I remember that night I was at a Warriors game. I think they played the horrible, horrible Houston Rockets. And after the game, waiting for Coach Kerr to come out, and Anthony Slater was in there. And this, I realized this was, to me, is like, oh, the Kings are for real. Because this was while reporters are waiting for the coach of the Warriors to come out, and Anthony Slater is looking at his laptop, and he's telling Kawakami and other reporters about the Kings game. It's like, oh, it's going into another overtime. And I remember, Warrior reporters are talking about the Sacramento Kings?
Yeah.
They have arrived.
They did.
Yeah.
And then they departed.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately.
An incredible game. One of the most amazing games in Sacramento Kings history.
You think so?
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
Yeah, without question.
You know what, Kings fans? They don't play tonight. Go fire up that game. Go fire up those highlights. That'll make you feel better about things.
Mm-hmm.
You should do that.
So when it comes to the draft, and we'll figure it out, obviously, we'll get the lottery, then we'll see where the Kings are picking. Can the Kings afford, when they look at their selection, wherever it may be, can they afford to consider fit? Do they have the luxury of even considering, well, look at our roster, we could use this or that? Can they afford to let that have any, be a factor in their decision? I don't think they can, Alan.
No, I don't think they can.
Because you need everything.
But funny enough, I also think that your position eliminates that problem for you, right? If you're the first, if you are the first pick, that's the real question. If you're going to go with Darren Peterson or AJ, if you have the third pick, I mean, even though you need a point, I mean, it sounds crazy to take a point guard at 3 over Cam or Caleb. So
yeah.
I think it's really only an issue if you get the 5th pick. Can we agree with that?
You're talking about whether or not you think about a point guard
Yeah,
because you need a point guard?
I would say 4th or 5th. That conversation you want to have, that comes into play if the Kings get 4th or 5th, because then you're choosing between a Caleb or a Michael Brown Jr. or a Kingston Flemings. That's where it gets a little bit sticky. But still, the answer is no. You take best player available.
I agree. Even if by then you've found out that we're not going to be able to tank next year, we're going to have to be as good as we can be next year. Even then, you don't think fit can be a factor? I agree with you, because you just need so much, and there's so much talent here.
Yeah.
That's where you end up with something like, we have the 2nd pick. We already have De'Aaron Fox. We don't need another point guard, so we'll get Bagley instead of Luka.
No. I think the way I'm looking at it, if I'm the Kings, and I think the biggest question mark going back to Cam Boozer is, are you taking a surefire thing versus a higher ceiling? Like, if you have the 3rd pick, do you go Caleb or Cam? If you have the 4th pick, do you go Caleb, or you get a point guard that you think, hey, I don't know if this guy's going to be an all-star in Kingston Flemings, but I know he's going to be a nice point guard in this league at least. That's the question.
More than anything, you need to look at these players and talk to all your scouts, obviously, and you need to pick the player that you think is going to have the biggest impact on winning games at the next level.
Yes.
No matter what position he plays.
Right.
Or who you have there. And if you think it's DeBonta, which they appear to think, fine, he happens to fit you positionally as well. But that's the guy you got to pick. Whoever it is that you feel like, and your scouts say, that guy's going to have the biggest impact at the next level.
We texted about this briefly, and we can go a little bit deeper in the 5 o'clock hour. But you have the GM, the owner of the Jazz at BYU games. DeBansa has been connected to Utah as a whole for a while. He decided to go to BYU. The Jazz
Didn't he go to a prep school there?
I think you might be right.
Yeah. I think he was in Napa for a while, but I think he ended up in Utah.
The connections are very heavy. And I'm wondering, Whitey, right now, I guess he could go 1, so it gets a bit scary. I wonder how, for lack of a better term, desperate the Jazz are for DeBansa. Right now, based on their mock draft, they'd have the 6th pick. I don't know if there's an amount of draft capital they could even give up. I know they just gave up some draft capital to get in the Jazz deal. They gave up.
That's a great question.
3 picks, but I know the Jazz really want DeBansa. I brought it up because you mentioned how the Kings like DeBansa. If the Jazz get stuck at 6, is there any price tag? Like any price tag that you're giving up that number 1 pick for? And obviously this is different now because of the tanking rules that we don't know what they're going to be. But if the Jazz get 6, and maybe 6 is bad, right? Maybe the Jazz get the 4th pick. If the Jazz are willing to give you the 4th pick, they're 2027, which again, maybe they're in the playoffs at that point. If the Jazz are giving you the 4th pick and 2 more firsts for the number 1 pick because they want DeBansa and they don't trust him to drop to 2, do you even think about it?
Well, let's just look at what they have to offer.
Okay.
2030, they have their own first. 2031, their own first. 2032, their own first. This is where it gets complicated.
Is that where it even starts, at 2030?
No, but the reason I started there is because the rest of them it's really convoluted. 2026, most favorable of Utah, 1-8, Minnesota and Cleveland. Less favorable of Utah, 1-8, Minnesota, 2 Minnesota. Less, They have a pick.
Yeah.
2027, they have a pick. Second, most favorable of Utah, Cleveland, and Minnesota. Most favorable to Memphis and least favorable to Phoenix.
Right.
2028, their own pick or swap for Cleveland. So, they have a lot of draft capital. And then if you go into the second rounders, they got a treasure trove of picks.
I think 6 would be, you can't do it for 6. I mean, you can always think about it. But if they got 4, and they said, and you have the number 1 pick, and Utah is giving you an unprecedented amount of picks.
Like 2 down the road, like 28 and 30 or something like that?
Yeah. Do you even think about it? You get the 4th pick and 2 more of the Jazz, their own picks.
Not if it's DeBansa. I think they're locked into it. I'm guessing what they would do.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do, I'd consider it. I don't think I would do it, but I think the Kings want DeBansa just as much as Utah does.
Now I'm going to ask you another question.
Yeah.
Let's bump it
up. What about
you,
Jay? You trading out to get the fourth pick this year and 2 future ones, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, that'd be a lot.
Now let me change this question, Jay, before you answer. I'm going to make it even sweeter. Because, again, we don't know what order these guys are going to go in. The Kings get the number 1 pick, and the Jazz get number 3. And they're still saying, this is our homegrown guy. Number 3, 2 future firsts.
Next year?
You get one. What was it? They had their own next year, right?
One next year.
So let's say 27 because I think that's realistic because it's not a very good draft. You get the number 3 pick this season. You get 2027 their own, and then 2030 unprotected.
Yeah, I'm give it to me.
I think you got to do it.
Yeah.
3 number 1s? Yeah.
Yeah. And one of them's a 3rd pick.
Yeah.
You're getting the 3rd pick. I think it's that important. If it's 4th, but if you can stay in the top 3, you got to do it.
Yeah, I think so.
And I'm telling you, I think the Jazz might be desperate for Debanza. That's a good one right there. Desperate for Debanza. I think they would.
Why do you think they are? I mean, obviously
they've been connected to him for years.
Well, I know, but
they just have to go through Ace Bailey, who
goes to school there.
Yeah, well, that's where it started. There's some conversations about who's funding that BYU situation. I don't want to say funding, but it's a lot of connections.
It's all legal now.
It's all legal. I'm just saying. Well, yeah, I'm saying somebody that's a big Jazz fan or maybe connected to the Jazz in some way. Hey, let's make sure our guy gets to BYU. They have this extra draft capital. 2027 isn't supposed to be great. Maybe they sneak into the playoffs next season. I don't know.
If Danny Ainge wants to do the deal, I'm not doing it.
That's a good point.
That's my bottom line.
That's a good point.
Yeah. When we come back, should fans be so angry that the Kings won a game? And how have this year's Kings measured up to Scott Perry's Pillars? We'll come back with that. Don't go away. Drive Guy, Sactown Sports.
Visit SactownSports.com and join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
A's fans, the 2026 season is coming fast, and single game tickets are on sale now. Be there for an exciting season packed with theme days, giveaways, and firework nights, including bobbleheads, jerseys, hats, and much more. And getting in is easier than ever. Tickets start at just $8 for select April and May games. From opening day to unforgettable summer nights, there's something for everyone at the ballpark. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets and be part of the excitement this 2026 season.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Paramount Pictures and Spyglass Media Group present Scream 7. When a new ghost-faced killer emerges in the quiet town where Sidney Prescott has built a new life, her darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. Determined to protect her family, Sidney must face the horrors of her past to put an end to the bloodshed once and for all. Starring Neve Campbell, Isabel May, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mason Gooding, with Matthew Lillard, Joel McHale, and Courtney Cox. In theaters February 27th.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
From UPS, Chris, give me Jaren Jackson Jr. and the 6th pick. You can have the number 1 pick.
Cannot.
From, let's see, this is from the 916. There is a vaccine for chickenpox for children on normal schedule. Okay, from the 916. Alan can't fight his way out of a paper bag.
Don't play with me.
Yeah, I think Alan.
Don't play with me.
In a corner could be quite formidable. I do. I've never experienced it. Don't get me wrong. We've never come to blows.
No, not yet.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have a hard time imagining Alan would be able to take care of himself.
Yeah, come on. You don't let this handsome smile fool you. It will go down.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta. We got a bunch of girl dads here between you, Jay, myself. We got to take care of our own. Seriously though, I do think I want to go a little bit deeper in this fighting thing.
You want to go deeper?
Yeah, just to defend myself. Like I should take some classes.
Oh, I see.
I think I need to take some classes.
Oh, I've always wanted to take like karate classes.
Because I'm thinking, like I said, I got 2 small kids.
Yeah.
Somebody try to run up on me, even if I'm by myself. I got to make it out.
Yeah. Let's sign up for a karate class. We'll get a great endorsement.
Back in the day,
yeah,
it was at Chuck Norris Karate. It was at Chuck Norris.
Okay.
It was the 90s.
Well, no wonder you're so tough.
I got the purple belt.
Yeah.
White, yellow, I think it's purple next. So I got the 3.
Isn't there brown in there somewhere?
I thought, brown's before black.
Okay.
Brown is
I don't know.
Brown is high up there.
Okay.
I had to do a wall sit for a minute. It was
Ooh.
the toughest minute of my life. I was, 5 years old.
Yeah.
But I was nice.
You a purple belt at age 5?
I think it was after we moved. I'm trying to remember. I think I started in Virginia, then we moved, and then 6, 7 out here in
So which
in
of
Clayton.
Chuck Norris's moves did you put on the guy that called you 5'9"?
I mean, it was a combo. It was a combo piece. Combo number 5. But yeah, I think I was right there to get the green belt. It went white, yellow. No, white, yellow, orange, purple. I got to 4. 5 was green, but then I started playing sports.
Mm-hmm. My wife told me once, if I have this right, she went to high school in Rome, and there's like purse snatchers and things there, and she's from Okinawa, so the way she told me, if I remember right, somebody's going to take her purse or something. She got it back. And then there was a moment of drama there, and she's like, "Come on, I know karate," and the guy ran away, and she doesn't know karate.
Really? See, but you got to say it. You got to so they believe it.
Yeah.
You got to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Karate.
Whew. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. How do you think the Kings have measured up to Scott Perry's pillars this year, Alan? If you scored the team 1 to 10 on each pillar, have they been competitive?
4.
Accountable? What a face.
I mean,
that almost seems like
I don't know what that
apply,
means.
Huh? Yeah.
Because, the whole thing with Mike Brown was the accountability piece. I think I go 7. I think they've been fairly accountable.
Really? After you made that face, you're going to give
just
a 7?
don't know. I don't know how to diagnose that. I don't know how to measure it.
They haven't run from anything, I
Yeah.
mean, they answer all the questions. Professional.
8.
Tough.
5.
Team-oriented.
8.
And disciplined.
2.
I mean, considering how many games they've lost, those aren't bad numbers.
No.
When part of this year is about implementing that culture, which is based on those pillars, those numbers could be lower. They're not good.
Yeah,
There's
what's that
very little
average? What's that average, guys? The 2 pulled it down, but
Yeah.
probably about 6, around a 6.
Around a 6.
I think that's
5.
fine.
I had a 5.7.
You know, whenever we do
5.9.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. I heard the first one. I'm not responding to that because that's not in the media guide. You know, if 5.9's in the media guide, that's what matters. Whenever we do this grade stuff, because even when we do it with, hey, end of season grades for players, I would always get into trouble because I would give players pretty good grades, B's, B pluses, and somebody on the text line or wherever would say or call in and say, if a team isn't good, you can't give anybody better than a B, B plus, right? So to me, a team, and I know this is a little bit different.
I disagree with that, though. But go ahead. Sorry.
You can find pieces, right? But I
know
you
said better. You can't give any better. You can't give anybody better than a B or B plus. All right, yeah.
Relatively speaking.
No one's getting any.
Yeah, outside of a rookie that, played really well. But if a team has 12, I know the pillars are the pillars, but if a team has 12 wins, you can't be higher than a 6. It's not possible. I don't care what the pillars are.
Right.
If they got to do with basketball, you can't be better than a 6.
Yeah. As far as the accountability, I know you made the funniest face I've ever seen you make, and then you gave him a 7. I'm with you. I go back to Scott Perry at one of his press conferences, not one of his appearances with us or anybody else, and he talked about the year. He said at the time, he said, this hasn't gone the way it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. That's accountability.
Right.
Rather than, we've had too many injuries or, everything's great. He said, this hasn't gone the way, frankly, that we hoped it would. Mm-hmm. That's accountability.
Yeah. I'm not going to say who in particular, because I think this goes for a lot of people, but I do feel like this season there was a lot less of and it's not just the Kings in general, because you know what kind of grinds my gears a bit? It's when somebody says something that could be an excuse, and then they say, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like we talk about, we had Andy Bailey on.
That's very much like no disrespect.
Right. Andy Bailey, the lawyer, hey, strike this from the record, but we all saw it.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of things have changed, and we've had people in and out of the lineup. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but, that's the reality. Well, you just told us all that.
Right.
I feel like last season there might have been a little bit more of that. This season, and maybe because the expectations have changed, but
I think
this
that's
season,
exactly.
We haven't, it's been straight up. This is what it is.
Yeah. Last season, right to the end, the expectations were very high.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, we're going to sneak into that.
So we haven't I remember we haven't practiced together. Mm-hmm. And then they had the All-Star break last year, and we're thinking, here they go. We got All-Star break. They'll have time to practice. First of all, they were away. Then they come back. No one does anything the first day they're back. Then 2 days later, they got to travel somewhere, so they basically had 1 day to practice.
Right.
I remember we were all thinking, finally, they'll be able to practice, all these players that haven't played together. Yeah, they're like one practice. But anyway.
Thinking back to last season, you think anything is different if they at least beat the Mavs? You think how people look at Doug Christie is different if they beat the Mavs?
If you got into
if they lose, no,
because you have to
they lost to the. Let's say they still lose to the Grizzlies. You got to go to Memphis, but they did not get their butts whooped by the Mavs, and they won a play-in game.
Not really. If you don't get to the playoffs, if you get into the playoffs, everything's a little different. But if you win one play-in game and lose the next one,
okay,
nothing. Yeah. Okay. Why do you think so many fans are so angry that the Kings won a game? You were a little angry, weren't you?
I had to talk I cooled myself off. Mm-hmm. I cooled myself off, but it was the way it went down. It was kind of throwback. Honestly, it was not as much DeMar, but it was a good amount of Russ. I think fans go into every game not knowing what the hell is going to happen. Are you going to see Russ for 30 minutes? Are you going to see Russ for 20 minutes? Are you going to see DeMar shoot the basketball? Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what to expect. And I think that is causing some of the frustration because you don't know. And Nique Clifford didn't have a huge scoring night. He played really well, but it was nothing that popped off the screen. Daquan Plowden, great story. We love it. Shout out Philly. But he's 27. So I don't know that fans.
Clifford was 5 for 8 last night.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And he made a 3.
A 3, yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying, Daquan Plowden going off. If Daquan Plowden was 23 years old and did that, I think nobody is upset about Russ or anything like that. But you got a 27-year-old G Leaguer in Daquan Plowden, who we love. You got Russ scoring, playing 30-plus minutes. Nique with a good game, nothing to write home about per se. First time someone had a 4x5 outside of in and out since Boogie Cousins. And Maxime had a double-double against a team with no center. So I think people just didn't really know how to react to what they just watched.
I think Nique had a really good game. He didn't
6
have a great
steals
scoring
was crazy.
Game. Yeah, but I mean that's the type of player you hoped he would be.
Yeah.
Again, it's against the backdrop of a G League team. To me, that's a frustrating thing. I wasn't angry they won. I get a little uncomfortable when they win now because, getting a top pick is so important. But, again, you look at this and, wow, they did some nice things. They played well. Didn't they play well? Well, how do you know against a team of 6'9" G Leaguers?
Yeah.
You can't tell.
You don't. You can't. And I think a lot of people did initially react like me. You led me somewhere based on what we've been talking about the Y2K of the tank, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's preparing. Would you say that last night was last night they needed a win? But based on what you just said, and again, your thought process isn't that you are trying to have the worst record to get the number 1 pick. It's to make sure you do not fall outside the top 5, right? That's what we've kind of established. Is it to the point now when we look at how teams are going to be this exodus because they don't know what's coming next, do you have to maybe stop playing around here? Do you have to have a convo with DeMar and Russ and say, hey, guys, we can't play around anymore, right? Once every 5 games, we can let you do your thing. And I know we talked about this a little bit with Russ, but we can't afford to screw this up simply because we don't know what's coming.
I don't know, because I'm guessing that the Kings are a team that really would not want to pay any fines. And depends on how you're slicing that, but if you're talking about sitting guys, the league is watching very closely. It's funny because DeMar is a guy who is considered a star by the league's definition. So they're keeping a closer eye on him. You have less wiggle room with a star, according to the player participation policy. However, because of his age, you can rest him on back-to-backs, things like that. That's part of the rule, and you can get away with that. It's allowed. But he doesn't want to do it. He wants to play every game.
Yeah.
So that's the complicating factor there. I know I'm not answering your question directly, but you have to be mindful of that. You start sitting guys, and the league already has made it clear, we're watching all of this. So I don't know. I know a lot of teams we'll pay the fine. I get the sense the Kings don't want to pay those fines if they're heavy.
And honestly,
I don't know.
I do think that they probably would have won that game. The Grizzlies were just all out of whack, right? I think the Grizzlies went in saying, we're going to find a way to lose this game. That's what it felt like. No disrespect to those players. So I think they would have won that game regardless, but you can't really, if you're Adam Silver, there's no rule on a Russell Westbrook minimum player. You could sit him every single game. Am I right? I mean,
I don't know.
He's a minimum player.
Yeah, it's a great point. I'm not sure the answer, but I understand
I'm
what
not
you're
saying to do that.
Yeah.
But
you're saying you should be able to do that without any consequences.
Yeah, DeMar thing is fine. Or at the very least, hey, Russ, what it is, we know this is a new landscape. You're about to ride off to the sunset. These tank rules are going to be crazy. We can't mess up this season. You're not playing in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You're just not playing in the fourth quarter.
I would check. I understand what you're saying, but the league, given what they've made clear already, that might be something where they'd say, he's your best player.
Yeah. And
we know because we saw it on Twitter.
Yeah. And again, as Matt, now they're screenshotting Matt. They're not even tagging him, so I sent him to Matt. I had to snitch on the Russell Westbrook fan club. And as we know, this isn't about me switching up and anybody saying, Alan, you complain about Russell Westbrook, but now you're afraid he's too good and is going to keep the team in a winning pace. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's all about who you're facing. And they're not going to be faced. I think there's a level of respect if you're DeMar or Russell Westbrook. I know they needed that win last night, but if you're Russ, I mean, I'm not going to be disrespectful, but if you're going off against a bunch of dudes that are G Leaguers and you're Russell Westbrook, how good should you actually feel about? I know he's the ultimate dog, but moving forward, this isn't about me either flipping up on Russ or saying, well, he actually is too good of a player. they're not going to be playing NBA rosters. That's the problem here. They're going to be playing
last night.
Already bad teams that are going to be digging deeper into being bad. So I think Russ is good enough to win those games. And DeMar DeRozan, they're not facing, unless it's contending teams. And if you want to have a conversation, hey, Alan, should they let the Dogs run against contending teams like tomorrow night against the Rockets? We can have that conversation. But you cannot let what happened last night happen where you're just letting two future Hall of Famers do their thing against fringe NBA guys. That can't be how you lose out.
Compounding the difficulties of not being able to get rid of your veteran players before the deadline.
Yes.
Now you have them, and what are you going to do with them?
Right.
When you're trying not to win games.
Free them. Buy them out.
339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. The Kings just can't afford to fool around and win more games. I'm laughing, but it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
They just, they're still in really good shape here, and I guess, Alan, it's hard because I so badly want them to end up with the worst record, but I can see how, as an organization, as a basketball team, you do need to win one every so often. Nobody wants, a 17 or longer game losing streak on their resume.
No.
Nobody.
And literally as we finish that conversation, we just got a text from the 916. Guys, the Kings were losing with DeMar and Russ playing 35-plus minutes. I wouldn't be worried about them winning with both playing. Also, they just lost 16 games in a row. Last night was a win to break the streak. That's it. Again, 916. They are not going to be playing NBA teams moving forward. A lot of it.
Really hard the rest of the way.
We're not talking about the beginning of the season where everyone's giving it a go. So I understand what you're saying. This is not that. Some of these teams that are kind of stuck where they were before, the Grizzlies, for example. I mean, I know they had some trades, but these teams, they're not going to be NBA-level teams. You have the Rockets tomorrow night. If you want to say let them get a go, sure. Night after that, I don't know if Cooper Flagg is back, but the Mavericks are in a similar spot where they're going to try to dig into the tank. You got the Lakers and you got the Suns. After that, Pelicans, Bulls, Pacers, Hornets. That's 4 games right there that the Kings could win all 4 those games.
By the way, we got some bad news this afternoon out of Portland on the Trailblazers, another injury. I don't know how this impacts the Kings, but Trailblazers guard Shaedon Sharpe continues to receive treatment associated with a left calf strain. Follow-up imaging has revealed a stress reaction of the left fibula. So Sharpe will be reevaluated in approximately 4 to 6 weeks to allow for adequate healing before beginning a progressive return to full basketball activity. So another injured player, Shaedon Sharpe.
They've had some really bad luck. The Blazers have. They're not because of injury, but they kind of remind me of the Magic of the West. And
I see that.
And they're worse off than the Magic just because the West is a nightmare. But they remind me of the Magic of the West, maybe a year behind where the Magic were supposed to be. But they remind me of the Magic of the West. Whitey, I want to throw something at you.
Yes.
As far as morals are concerned, right? And,
are we talking about ethical tanking?
No. Yes. As far as I just got this
term.
I just got this. This is from Tahoe Sue, okay, on X. They say, I feel like we have to play legit and let the chips or picks fall where they may. So that goes to the basketball gods conversation. Hey, things will work out for you if you do things the right way. And before I let you answer, I'm just going to say, look, y'all, we all know that bleep hole that ends up being rich. We all know that jerk that everything in life happens for them. They get the girl, they get the good job, they get all of it. So I think the idea of, no, let's do things the right way, we all know, maybe a friend of me, we all have somebody like that. So I don't want to hear it. Hey, we played the right way. We ended up with the 7th pick. Now is not the time to be a Boy Scout.
When you look at the top teams in the NBA and how hard they tank to get where they are, that tells me that embracing the notion of ethical tanking, that's for suckers.
No, not this year.
Yeah.
Maybe 2027.
Bless you if you feel that way, and I respect your morals, but the reality of it is, in the cold, hard world of the business of professional basketball, that's for suckers, Alan.
Yep. It's nice to say until you see, hey, you know what it reminds me of? And I know I got to be careful here. You know that person, I'm just saying, Schmal and Miles loves roulette. I've talked about this before. Now, you'll go play roulette wherever, and when Schmallen hits, very nice, here's a little something to the dealer, right? You're having good conversations with
What's
people.
the person who spins the wheel
I
called?
think it's a dealer.
Oh, okay.
I'm fairly sure it's a dealer. I used to say, like spin person, but I don't think it's that. Pretty sure it's a dealer. So when Schmallen hits, Schmallen is, hey, thank you for that. Here's a little bit of, here's a little something here. You're talking to people. They come ask you if you want a beverage, and you say, oh, thank you. And then you tip the beverage person. Then you have that person. How you pronounce that?
I think that's croupier.
Croupier.
Yeah.
You're tipping the croupier. You're tipping the person that comes by with the beverages. Then the person comes up, Whitey, comes up to the table, and they're just an absolute jerk, right? They're not tipping. They're not talking to anybody. They're fairly rude, but they're hitting. And you're thinking, hey, roulette guys, why isn't Schmallen hitting?
You think that you should be rewarded with
Yeah.
good karma.
Yeah, I'm being a nice person.
Yeah.
I'm tipping
but you know
people,
how it
or
works.
Schmallen's tipping
If
people.
it works at all, if you're doing something nice because you expect something back,
not.
you're not really doing anything that nice.
I'm not.
So you're not going to get anything good
I'm
for
not
it.
doing it to be rewarded, but when Schmallen sees somebody else not doing anything and being rewarded, they're thinking, what the heck? So to all you out there, do things the right way. Normally, I'd agree with you. But in this situation, and I'm looking here, Whitey, as far as who did what correctly. Last season was weird because obviously you have traded picks and whatnot. Dallas, look, there's tinfoil hats there. Philly dealt with injury, so this isn't a great example, but Charlotte was in the tank. Utah was in the tank. Washington was in the tank.
Philly invented the tank.
Yeah. And VJ Edgecombe looks pretty good at number 3.
I mean, I'm going back a ways, but how they got Embiid, they invented the modern tank.
Yeah,
which is we're going to tank year after year, no matter who we get.
Right. 2025 was weird, but okay, Atlanta, they get Reece Sachet. Washington gets the number 2 pick. Reed Shepard, Houston, they were tanking. They get the number 3. The Spurs get the rookie of the year. All right. So now look, now you get number 6. Maybe the basketball god said, hey, Charlotte, get out of the tank. Here's Tajon Salam. I don't know, but they decided to take him.
On the YouTube chat here from Image Rock, we were grading the pillars, a 1 to 10 number for each of the Kings' 6 pillars, Scott Perry's 6 pillars. Image Rock says 3 for discipline. Dennis giving Luka the business, lacked discipline.
Everybody liked it at the time.
But it was very competitive, so maybe you get some bonus points for being extra competitive.
Professionalism. Hey, as a professional, you're not going to call me a you-know-what, so you're going to get these hands.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he was being professional.
You know who really bumps up the professionalism score to me is DeMar. If you see him pregame, I know we were talking to the High Flyer about this yesterday. If you see DeMar when he comes out and he sits there and he watches the young players finish up their routine, then he goes out and goes through his pregame routine, shooting short shots, and it's really impressive. And you can see the dedication that has allowed him to play as well as he has for such a long time.
I'm glad you brought him up. We were texting back and forth, and just the conversation of, I was talking to some people familiar with the Kings situation, and the idea of, you got to think that maybe DeMar has said something to the Kings. Because this has to be, when you watch the 520 podcast, Jeff Teague, the way he tells it like it is, this got to be kind of embarrassing for DeMar, and to a lesser degree, Russell Westbrook. But maybe for DeMar, I think Russ is out there. He's already kind of turned this into a mentor thing. And Russ wasn't on a team, so it's a little bit different.
I think with Russ, pardon me, but I think with Russ, it's like you come out here, you show everybody, the young players, how you do it. You do you. You haven't been able to do that in a while. You got free reign. You can pile up, add on to all your totals. And it seems like he's like, yeah. He's in a really good place.
Again, a lot of people will say, oh, well, he had other opportunities. He wanted to stay on the West. I don't know. I don't recall that. I recall the Bucks going out and get Cole Anthony, and the Knicks going out and get Jordan Clarkson, which were the only 2 teams that he was connected to that I recall.
I don't think anybody wanted Russ.
I don't think so
Whether
either.
they should have or not, I just don't think they did.
As far as DeMar is concerned, is it any type of, not mar on his career, but I mean, Whitey, he's going to, he's going to say, yeah, I was on a team that had the worst record in the league. I'm not saying force your way out, and if he gets bought out and he ends up on the Bucks and not playing very much, is it any different? But I don't know, that buyout conversation, like I said, somebody said, you got to figure he said something to the Kings. Last we heard from Jason Anderson, he hadn't heard anything about that, and DeMar said he hadn't thought about it, but I don't know. Maybe it's his responsibility regardless, so getting bought out now wouldn't make him feel any better, but you're going to hold the worst. You go in history for that, Whitey.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to say. Maybe he, really appreciates being as close to home as he is now. I don't know. Maybe he has reason to think, there's something's going to work out in the offseason.
Yeah. Now, I don't think people are going to put that on him. Don't get me wrong. The fact that this team has the worst record. But there are a lot of people that look at Russ and DeMar, and I would throw Zach LaVine in there and said, hey, can't win with these guys. Now, that's not to say that's more about championship conversation versus the worst record in the league. But there are people that, they've had some things to say about not DeMar, the professional, but basketball-wise, you can't win with how he plays.
Yeah. Who is above examining some very shaky reporting about how Kawhi Leonard wants to stay on the West Coast? We're not above that. We'll do that when we come back to Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
Get ready, Sacramento. The Sacramento Boat Show and Big RV Show is taking over Cal Expo, March 5th through March 8th. It's 2 huge shows, 1 massive event. Don't miss it. Get details now at 2hugeshows.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Before we get to what's going on with Kawhi, what may or may not be going on with Kawhi Leonard, I want to share this with you because I ran across something today that it may be an example of the most clueless owner in all of sports, or at least the most clueless thing any owner has said. Now, this is a baseball owner, and yeah, we have the A's here, but I think this applies to all sports. I think as a fan, to me, it's just very offensive that an owner of any team would actually say this. Did you hear what Artie Moreno said? The owner of the Angels?
Yes, but run it back.
Yeah. Friday, Artie Moreno, and there are some questions about the Angels and the payroll. What's the payroll going to be? And in baseball, usually you look at a payroll and determine how serious a team is about winning by how high their payroll is. So there are some questions about the Angels' payroll. Artie Moreno told reporters, quote, "The number one thing fans want is affordability. They want affordability. They want safety, and they want a good experience when they come to the ballpark. Believe it or not, winning is not in their top 5, end quote."
Well,
Artie Moreno. Now, the Players Union noticed that. The players are like, what? Because, baseball players are. I mean, yeah, they're highly paid, and sometimes it looks like they're not trying, but they're competitors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Players Union not happy, and obviously a lot of Angel fans are, what? No, that's not right.
Yeah. Well, from the fan side of it, obviously that's going to tick you off. And the Brewers owner over the summer said something similar. Hey, it's about an entertaining product. And if you're the player, though, even still, it's still connected to money, because if you're letting somebody walk because, we have a good experience and this person, is a little bit too expensive now. So if you're the player,
whether our ballpark's really safe.
Right. If you're the player, whether it's about how much they care about being competitive or not, they want the owner to be competitive because that means that he will be willing to pay them and, they can stay or whatever the case may be. So I think whether it's about actual competition or the fact that you have to pay me competitively, players aren't going to like that very much at all.
Right. And owners don't like other owners who want to win, who spend the money to try to win.
Yeah.
Because it makes them look bad. It's like, what? Now I have to spend money.
Right.
You're making us look bad.
Yeah. Did you see what the Braves GM said a couple weeks ago?
No.
Where he said it's just impossible for us to spend like the Dodgers. We just can't do it. And some people were trying to push back where you can still spend more. I think that's where this whole thing gets sticky, to where owners are going to just say, we can't spend like the Dodgers, so we have to fix something. Yeah, but you can still spend more of your money. That's kind of the holdup. We don't expect the Pirates to spend money like the Dodgers, but you're also hoarding your money a little bit.
Believe it or not, winning is not in their top 5.
So what was the top 5? Did he even say 5?
Affordability is number one. Number one thing is affordability, safety, good experience when they come to the ballpark. Then, he couldn't remember all the things. But winning is not even in the top 5. How many other things could possibly be in there?
Entertainment, I guess, which, by the way, the whole entertainment thing, to be specific, I'm fairly sure the Brewers talked about, that owner said, I think it was more about championships versus championships.
Sustained winning?
Yeah, I think it was, hey, he's connecting having a competitive product is entertaining versus if we don't win a championship or we don't do everything to win a championship, that's a problem. I think he was just saying, hey, basically, if we put a competitive team out there and we get hot, cool, but we don't necessarily have to spend on every single thing. That conversation of, winning versus entertaining, losing is not entertaining.
No. You can bring back the rally monkey, but if you're losing 11-1, that ain't cutting it, Jay.
That's not going to work. So, it might not be about championships everywhere. You shouldn't be saying any of this stuff out loud either. But
it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Do you think if the A's are reasonably competitive this year, do you think attendance will go up?
I think so. And I say this respectfully because it's okay, because the A's are here for however long. I think fans out here are going to be front runners, and that's okay, right? This is not necessarily your team. You don't owe them anything.
They don't even want to call themselves Sacramento.
You don't owe them anything. If they play well and you think you want to hop on a bandwagon for a couple years, hell yeah, do it. So I do think if they start out hot, a lot of people that don't typically, care about baseball in general and, don't really focus on baseball fans and everybody out there. Local media. I think local media I've been seeing, because I know where the Giants are and where the A's are, you can kind of hop back and forth. I think local media has more so dug into, specifically the TV networks that are out there. I think they have dug into the A's a little bit more than I thought they would to start. So I don't know if that's because they're seeing a shift with the Sacramento shirts that are out, and hey, we're going to have a Sacramento jersey. But I will say to start, it does seem like, and maybe that's because you only have one pro team, so why not in the Kings? But it does feel like Sacramento media, from the TV perspective, they have dug into the A's more than I thought they would.
What do you think, Jay? You think attendance goes up if the team is, in the wild card chase? I don't think it does.
I'm with you.
Yeah. I think it might later in the year. I think if they're in contention and you get into August, September, I think you'll see some big crowds on weekends.
Yeah.
But there's just not the connection. And, Artie Moreno talked about the experience at the ballpark, and it's not terrible. It's just not a major league experience.
Yeah.
At Sutter Health.
I'm with you.
But we'll see.
I tend to think that the closer you get to the pennant being raised, we'll start to see some bigger crowds. Off the top of my head, bad job by me. I don't really have the A schedule memorized.
You don't?
At this point. No, bad job by me.
We talked about that, Jay.
Yeah, I got to get it done, man. I got to get it done. It's like a fight song. You better know it as a freshman, right? And so I just can't see the way this city has kind of been treated already through the one calendar year. I'm not sure the Sacramento's going to bounce back. I think
that perception of it all, I think, is baked into this point.
Yes.
It can still change, but it's going to take a lot to change the widespread perception of what this all is.
Agreed.
But you're not really disagreeing with me, though. You're just saying we're both saying if they're in contention, more people will show up. I guess is the question.
I didn't say I was disagreeing with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I guess the question is, if they start out, 15-2, will attendance go up? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if they are in a wild card spot, if a very young team, very fun team, if they're in a wild card spot come August, getting into September, I definitely think attendance will go up. So to start, I think at the beginning of the season, we'll see what we saw. I think it'll die out the same way it probably dies out in a lot of different ballparks. And then if they're sustaining, around late, August, September, it'll pick up again.
I still think it was pretty surprising that the numbers were not better last year, and that's because the A's, they got in their own way a lot with the ticket prices and everything. But I still think it's going to take a lot to get people to come around to the idea that, all right, this is pretty cool. And I know there's some people that go all the time that love that. I know that there is a regular crowd, but I think the A's are working really hard to try to improve that number, increase that number, and I think it's an uphill climb at this point, Jay.
Yeah, totally agree. I think I was kind of going to say what you're going to say. I throw this on top of that, and I could be wrong. I don't have the statistics. I'm not on my Kyle Ledbetter movement right now. This is just kind of the way I feel. I feel even what we seen with the Tampa Bay Rays, the Brewers, I feel like as we get closer to postseason baseball, all crowds go up. And I could be wrong, but I throw out Tampa in the form of like Tampa's been atrocious when it comes to attendance. But as we've gotten closer to, they've had a good run or two over the last handful of years, even make it to the World Series, right? And so even then you start to see their ballpark fill up a little bit too. So I just think it's natural. It's organically going to happen. But Whitey, I can't agree with you more, man. I think the A's have definitely gotten in their way a lot. And now you still have people, and I've just talking to a couple people, you still have people who are on the hook for the PSLs, and at every moment, if you're scrolling up and down Instagram, you see $8 tickets. So it's a tough way, tough road to hoe if you're going to try to bring some of those fans back when I'm 30,000 in, man, on paper. So tough.
I'll tell y'all this much.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think this is too far-fetched. With how terrible the Kings season went, I think that could help the A's if they do get off to a hot start. I think it'll be very refreshing if you see a team that is actually competitive. And again, they might be the A's fan base now, specifically in Sacramento, probably the only fan base that spans all sports right now. There is no such thing as a fair weather fan. There is no such thing as a front runner fan. You're allowed to do whatever the bleep you want because of this weirdo situation. But if the A's start hot, I do think they could actually benefit from how bad the Kings were. If the Kings were rocking, the A's would be a footnote, even if they were decent. With the Kings being so bad, and you're gonna maybe you get the first pick, Summer League's gonna be over by July. If the A's are in the mix after July, Summer League is done, and we're waiting for the Kings, who are going to stink next season too, we assume, or they're not going to be in high-level contention. I think everyone's going to be looking around saying, man, I know we got the Republic and things like that, but the A's are pretty good, and it's just nice. We haven't felt this since Beam Team, if they're there.
Interesting. Very interesting, Alan. Does Kawhi really want to stay on the left coast? And are you ready for the 4-point field goal? We'll tell you all about that when we come back to Sactown Sports.
It's Carmichael Dave wanting you to join Capital Casino every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. in a safe, friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, mechanical bulls, and food trucks. Make it a lucky night out of live country music and dancing for your crew. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Bar None Auction, Sky River Casino, and Trex Decking and Railing. More info at CITPFest.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Paramount Pictures and Spyglass Media Group present Scream 7, when a new ghost-faced killer emerges in the quiet town where Sidney Prescott has built a new life. Her darkest fears are realized as her daughter becomes the next target. Determined to protect her family, Sidney must face the horrors of her past to put an end to the bloodshed once and for all. Starring Neve Campbell, Isabel May, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Mason Gooding, with Matthew Lillard, Joel McHale, and Courtney Cox. In theaters February 27th.
Spring is here, and there's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings, plus get top dollar for your trade. And while life's roads are often filled with bumps, buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Let's see how one of the projected top picks in the NBA draft is doing right now. We've got 7:41 left in the second half. Top-ranked Duke leading Notre Dame 85-43. I don't know if have you looked at the box at all, Alan?
I have not.
How many points you think for Cam Boozer in 24 minutes? I will tell you he's taken 8 shots. How many points for Cam Boozer tonight in this lopsided Duke win?
Yeah, sounds like they probably didn't need him very much. I'm going to go with 12 points.
12 points. Double it. 24 points.
On 8 shots?
5 of 8, 2 for 2 from the three-point line, 12 of 14 from the line, 13 rebounds, 2 assists.
Dang.
3 steals. So in 24 minutes, 24 points for Cam Boozer.
I have not.
24 and 13.
I did not expect that. Not in that type of game.
Yeah, I know.
He puts up numbers, Whitey. You can't deny him. He is inevitable.
Did I mention 3 steals? I think I did.
Hey, a guy that we haven't talked about a lot, and I know he's towards the bottom of the top 10, but should we be paying more attention to Keaton Wagler? I've had some people.
By the way, someone told me it was, in fact, it was Tony Ray Harvey. His name is Wagler.
Okay.
That's what Tony told me.
Keaton Wagler. Yeah. I feel like we maybe should be talking about him more. I haven't got I was telling you how cool it's been to see all these guys play. Illinois has not been on my TV very often.
He's kind of a classic 2-guard, right? I think he's 6'6".
6'6", shooting guard. They don't even throw a PG on there. Just shooting guard. But he's a guy that people like. I just haven't seen him play at all, to be honest with you.
I've seen him just a little bit. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah. We've run into, on accident, I've seen Kingston Flemings a couple times. On accident, I've seen Michael Brown Jr., Darius
I thought
Acom.
he was your guy.
Michael Brown Jr.?
Yeah. Or you just
I've seen him a couple times.
The contrarian to my Kingston Flemings.
Yeah, I wasn't going to tell you, but that's just what it is. Obviously, Caleb Wilson, and as you move up. But, yeah, Keaton Wagler is a guy that I have not seen at all. Wagler.
This is what, Tone knows what he's talking
about.
about.
If you really want to get drafted early, Keaton Vogler.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What is the word here on Kawhi Leonard? I know it's kind of specious, but there's a semi-report from somebody that I think you had on your show once.
No, I don't know if it's the actual person, but they are from the outlet. It was basically, here you go. Kawhi would like to stay on the West Coast.
According to who?
On Fire Digital.
Is that AHN?
That's correct.
On.
Yeah.
AHN.
If he
Jay, you've been a producer, big time producer, a long time. You familiar with on?
I mean, no. How'd you find that?
It was, it was aggregated, of course. It was aggregated, but that, that's what they're saying.
So that's if his contract is voided and he's a free agent, he would like to stay on the West Coast.
Which again, I'm not going to call out anybody's reporting, but sounds like a very.
Is it even sourced though?
Well, I'm just saying it sounds like a situation where it's probably the most obvious thing you could say. So it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Right? And you can, sound saucy if you say it. But, yeah, that's what's coming out. And here you go. Yeah, Clippers could try to change, free agency timeline, and Bucks expected to pursue a trade. I'm waiting for I'm trying to get the on to.
But it all looks so blah.
The on.
Blah, blah.
Trying to get it to load up. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. All right, there you go for you.
Do you need the
here you go.
Do you need the breaking news sounder for this?
No. Here it is. Bucks' chances of pairing Leonard and Antetokounmpo, as it is believed. Oh, listen, I love these.
Oh, yeah.
We have to have a whole list.
Yeah.
As it is believed in league circles. I love a league circle, Whitey.
That's not a source, but okay.
As it is believed in league circles that Leonard would prefer to remain on the West Coast should his Clippers contract get voided, sources said.
As long as you can put a source in there, makes it sound like this is all sourced.
What's that line?
But it's not.
What's that line I'm on?
Believed. It is believed in league circles.
Mm-hmm. From Ashish Mathur, who I did have on the midday show. He was on the midday show. That's all. On Fire Digital.
Should Jay try to get him on tomorrow?
I don't think we need to have that convo with Jay. Okay. Jay's not going to be happy with me.
All right.
Kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
There's our guy.
He apologized.
Not to the reporter.
Right. But
he did
for
to the
taking,
player.
Jamerson out of the game.
Yeah, he said, I looked back on it, and he said, I need to, whatever he said, I'm representing, this is a huge brand. But he did not apologize to the reporter. And then they won a game. Did you see this? And it said UCLA.
Was that the big comeback they had?
I think so. It was UCLA is undefeated since Mick Cronin, since somebody raised their voice at Mick Cronin.
Are you raising your voice at me?
Yeah, whenever that happened, they beat Illinois. So that was our chance to watch Vogler.
Well, let me have this conversation with you. I don't know if you guys saw this. The UFL's getting ready to start again. And I bring up the UFL, United Football League, because in some ways they try out new rules there, new rules that could make their way into the NFL someday, like the dynamic kickoff.
Okay.
So here are some of the rules they're going to try out in the UFL. If you kick a field goal 60 yards or further, 4! Give me 4! What do you think, Alan?
I'm surprised.
Give me 4!
I'm surprised that would happen first before a 4-point line in the NBA. But I'm not against it. I think they're going the wrong way with this, right? People want the kickers to be less involved, not more involved.
Yeah, well, here's the other side of that. I was thinking the same thing. Other UFL rule changes, they're banning the tush push, although it doesn't look like the NFL is going to even get into that. As well as if you're inside the 50-yard line, you cannot punt. Now, if it's in the final 2 minutes of a half, you can. But that's the other side of that 4-point field goal coin. If you're inside the 50-yard line, you cannot punt.
I like that.
I like that too.
No, that's like Madden, because, I never punt in Madden. I know I like that rule. Half of them aren't punting anyway. Punters probably don't like it. They were going to make less money, but I like that.
Yeah. 4-point field goal, though, you're not sure?
I don't really care about that.
You think we'll ever have that or need that or should consider that in the NBA?
4-point
field goal, yeah.
I think so. I mean, if these dudes are going to keep hucking it, you know how the 3 true outcomes launch angle is kind of cooling off a bit. People want to see more contact. Do we think there'll be a regression in basketball where they move away from the 3-point line? I don't see how. I think
we've seen a mini one. You do see kind of a mini resurgence of the mid-range, but still, that 3-point corner shot is the most efficient shot.
Yeah. I think how the team, or as players are bigger, everyone's 6'9" now, the middies coming back because you can't really get to the cup like that anymore.
So we got Kings basketball tomorrow again, don't we?
The Rockets.
Yeah. The troubled Rockets.
Ime Udoka. Somebody said, man, that guy's always mad. That's very true.
Former Sacramento King.
Yeah, he's always ticked off, man.
He's got a lot to be ticked off about lately.
Ticked off tomorrow.
Yeah.